This beautiful young woman, enduring the tearing pain in her body, hazily opened her eyes. She saw herself lying naked on the bed, and beside her lay a man with exposed 8-pack abs. As Zhou Jintian sat up, she instantly recalled her wild night. She never imagined she would end up sleeping with her ex's Xiaoshu. Just the day before yesterday, to celebrate her boyfriend's birthday, the girl had hidden in the wardrobe early in the morning, planning to give him a surprise. But the surprise turned into shock. She never expected that her usually gentlemanly boyfriend was secretly such a beast in disguise. Watching the two people on the bed constantly engaging in intimate acts, Tiantian's eyes suddenly widened. She thought, how dare he cheat on me? He must be tired of living. Thinking this, the girl instinctively took out her phone. Following the Chinese traditional virtue of shared joy being better than solitary pleasure, she quickly started a live broadcast of the scene. Due to the explosive content, within 2 minutes of starting, the broadcast was instantly filled with spectators. But as the two people in the broadcast got more explicit, there was a risk of the account being banned. Helpless, Zhou Jintian had to kick open the wardrobe door. Smiling at the viewers in the live stream, she said, "My darlings, this is my ex-boyfriend's grand cheating scene. That's all for today's broadcast. See you next time." The exposed couple on the bed were startled. They scrambled to put on their clothes while cursing. Hearing this, the woman retorted, "Look at you two. You're like toads trying to eat swans. Ugly yet ambitious." After saying this, she left gracefully without looking back, leaving the two toads on the bed looking at each other awkwardly. However, after returning home and taking a shower, Zhou Jintian received a call from her ex-boyfriend's uncle asking to meet at a coffee shop. The woman was about to refuse, but the other party hung up ruthlessly. Helpless, Tiantian quickly tidied herself up and went to the coffee shop downstairs. After the girl sat down, Jijin didn't waste time and went straight to the point, saying, "I hope Miss Zhou can delete the original video." As he spoke, he arrogantly handed over a pre-prepared check as compensation. Tiantian, already familiar with capitalist attitudes, raised an eyebrow after hearing this. Looking at the check on the table, she smirked and said, "I never thought a few hundred yuan would bring you here. Seems you've really learned something, but trying to buy me off with just 1 million? That's not enough. It should be at least 10 million. Jijun hadn't expected the young girl to have such a big appetite. His eyes flickered as he said word by word, "Or perhaps Miss Zhou could choose me instead." Zhou Jintian looked at the older man across from her, who still wanted to chase young girls. A smile slowly curved her lips. She approached like a wild cat, swaying her hips. "Uncle G, what makes you think I would choose you over the 1 million? What do you have to offer? Your old age?" After hearing the woman's words, Ji Zheng reminded Miss Zhou very unpleasantly, "Don't you understand the concept of playing the long game? Besides, you're no longer just a 100 yuan girlfriend. No need to call me uncle to try to get close." Tiantian clearly laughed at the old man's words. This guy was 8 years older than her. If she didn't call him uncle, should she call him little brother? The girl hid in the wardrobe, wanting to give her birthday boyfriend a surprise. Intended as a surprise, it turned into catching them in the act. The girl before us is called Zhou Jintian. It was her boyfriend's birthday that day. After finishing work, she came home with a cake. Hearing her boyfriend coming back, Tiantian decided to hide in the wardrobe first to surprise him. When she heard her boyfriend enter the room, Tiantian was about to come out, but then she heard a woman's flirtatious laughter. This made her withdraw her hand that was ready to open the wardrobe door. Watching the scene in the room, Tiantian silently raised her phone. "Cheating behind my back with another woman?" Joy shared is joy doubled. Tiantian opened the most popular live streaming entertainment app. She pointed her phone at the two people in the room and started live streaming. Tiantian took out the cake she had prepared for her boyfriend and started eating it herself. While eating, she watched the live stream. It was really explosive. The stream quickly reached over 100 viewers. Ji Boyan, still drunk, held his head and unconsciously called out Tiantia. Unexpectedly, the woman on top of him misinterpreted his meaning. She laughed and said, "I didn't expect young Master Ji to be so kinky." Knowing the stream would get banned if this continued, Tiantian pulled open the wardrobe door. "Alright, that's all for the live stream of my ex-boyfriend's grand cheating scene." After saying this, she ended the explosive broadcast. The woman, seeing Tiantian's sudden appearance, angrily demanded to know who she was. Meanwhile, Ji Boyan immediately sobered up, scrambling to put on his clothes, trying to explain. But Tian wouldn't listen to his excuses. Shut up, you're really just a toad trying to sleep with a frog, ugly, and playing with wildflowers. She left without looking back. The one who was called a frog couldn't help but ask, is she really your girlfriend? Her reaction isn't like a normal young girl. The furious Ji cursed in response. Just after taking a shower, Tian received a call from her best friend. The girl on the phone was excited. Baby, finally waited for your breakup. Tonight at the usual place. Don't miss it. She hung up before Tian could respond. The call ended abruptly. Left holding her phone, Tian could only helplessly complain about this troublesome woman. Just then, she received another message. When Tian opened it, it was from Ji Boyan's uncle Jizheng. This is Jizheng. I'm waiting for you at the coffee shop downstairs. After changing clothes, Tian went downstairs to meet him. Seeing Jizheng sitting there, she raised her hand and greeted with a smile. Hello, Uncle Ji. Jizheng sitting there, hearing this uncle upgrade, spoke curtly. Let's get to the point. I hope Miss Zhou can delete the original video. After Tian sat down, she raised an eyebrow. How come Ji Boyan had to ask you for help? Aren't you capitalists most concerned about benefits? What advantage can I get for deleting the video? Jizheng didn't hesitate at all and handed over a check. Tian looked at this 1 million yuan check and scoffed. 1 million? This is only 1/5 of my asking price. Jizheng then gave Tian a second option, or perhaps Miss Zhou could choose me. Hearing this, Tian laughed lightly, slapped the table, and stood up, leaning forward, moving closer to Jizheng. Uncle Ji, what makes you think between 1 million and you, I would choose you? Jizheng looked at Tian before him and said confidently, Miss Zhou doesn't understand the concept of playing the long game. Tian responded, I think you're more like an orca than a big fish. Tian sat down again and said, Anyway, through Boyan, I've seen right through you. There's not a single good man in the Ji family. Jizheng crossed his arms. Miss Zhou is no longer Boyan's girlfriend. No need to call me uncle to try to get close. Tian shot back defiantly. I remember Uncle Ji is 30 this year, exactly 8 years older than me. Calling you uncle isn't about generation gap. Jizheng smiled. Rather than uncle, why doesn't Miss Zhou call me brother instead? After speaking, Jizheng suddenly pulled back his chair and stood up. Tian watched as Jizheng kept moving closer to her, stopping only 2 or 3 centimeters away. At such close distance, Tian's eyes widened involuntarily. Jizheng whispered in Tian's ear, Miss Zhou, we have plenty of time ahead. His warm breath on her neck made her blush uncontrollably. That evening, when Tian arrived at the appointment, her bestie handed her a drink. Tian, why are you so late? You must drink this as punishment. Tian took the glass and drank it in one go. I just developed the photos I took last night and gave them to the team leader. That's what delayed me. Duan Qingwu asked, Is it those photos of the factory illegally dumping wastewater in the wild mountains? Tian froze with her glass. How did you know? Duan Qingwu took out her phone and opened an app because it's already trending. Looking at the trending topics on the phone, Tian was surprised the team leader moved so quickly this time. She had been following this news for over half a month. Yesterday, after receiving insider information, she rushed to the location without even changing her dress. Fortunately, she managed to get all the photos. Duan Qingwu poked Tian. Did you really break up with Ji Boyan? Tian replied contemptuously, I caught him cheating in bed. Should I wait until New Year to break up? Duan Qingwu leaned closer to Tian with a mischievous smile. But I have a perfect opportunity for you to get revenge on that scumbag. Since Ji Boyan cheated, why don't you get back at him by going after his uncle? That'll teach him a lesson. Tian, who was drinking, spat out her drink upon hearing this. Tian, disgustedly, pushed Duan Qingwu away and went to the bathroom. In the bathroom, Tian looked at herself in the mirror, her friend's words echoing in her mind. Go after his uncle to get revenge. Tian sighed and turned to leave. However, just as she reached the door, 2 figures blocked her way. Brother Shi, this is the girl who exposed us. Tian was dragged into a private room by 2 bodyguards. The man in the room sat there resting his chin, looking very unfriendly. Caught, Tian immediately tried to act friendly. Brother Shi, right? Why so serious? It's just about those photos. A reporter from a neighboring company had taken and exposed photos of a factory's illegal waste discharge. The next day, they faced retaliation and were threatened with forced nude photos. In this critical moment, survival was paramount. Thinking of this, Tiantan immediately put on an ingratiating smile. Brother Shi across from her said nothing, just passed her a cup of tea. Tian picked up the tea, pretending to drink, but secretly poured it out when the man wasn't looking. Then Brother Shi spoke. The news is already out. Our factory has already suffered losses. Then we should minimize the damage. Halfway through speaking, Tian suddenly felt something was wrong with her body. Then Tian noticed the incense burner behind the man. So that was what was causing the problem. Brother Shi across from her smiled triumphantly. Being too clever sometimes backfires. Sensing something was very wrong, Tian dug her nails into her palm, forcing herself to stay alert. When everyone in the room let their guard down, Tian staggered out. Discovering she had escaped, brother, she angrily berated the useless bodyguards. What are you standing there for? Tian stumbled as she ran out. She noticed only the fire exit on this floor was open, so she ran through it without hesitation. The footsteps behind her grew closer, making her more nervous. With nowhere else to go, Tian tried one of the doors. Fortunately, it was unlocked. Without hesitation, she opened it and hid inside. Hiding behind the door, Tian listened to the commotion outside, barely daring to breathe. Where did that little bitch go? I'll guard this floor, you check the others. Temporarily safe, Tian's tense nerves relaxed. However, her body began feeling increasingly hot, making her mind fuzzy. Just then, the bathroom door opened. The suite's owner turned out to be Ji Zheng. Seeing Ji Zheng, Tian recalled her friend's joke. Since Ji Boyan cheated, why don't you get back at him by going after his uncle? As if possessed, Tian's hand slowly caressed Ji Zheng's neck. Ji Zheng stared at the woman hanging onto him, stunned. Zhou, do you know what you're doing? Feeling Tian's burning body and unclear consciousness, Ji Zheng realized she had been drugged. Tian's face was flushed red. She murmured, Uncle Ji, help me. Ji Zheng's atoms apple bobbed. Zhou, Tian, look at who I am. Tian struggled to open her eyes and called out, Uncle Ji. Without hesitation, Ji Zheng wrapped his arm around Tian's waist. His warm palm couldn't resist caressing her back. Zhou, Tan, remember? You provoked me first. The next morning, when Tian woke up, she was terrified to find a man lying beside her. Uncertain if he was alive, Tian tremblingly reached out to check his breathing. Just then, the man turned over. It was Ji Zheng. Scenes from last night flashed through Tian's mind. Tian embarrassedly hid her head. She seemed to have initiated things last night. It's all Duan Qingwu's fault, Tian regretted. Ji Zheng, now dressed, could tell from Tian's expression that she remembered everything. He asked, You remember it all, right? Tian immediately shook her head, pretending not to remember. Remember what? You're not expecting me to take responsibility, are you? Ji Zheng seemed to see through her thoughts. Then let's refresh your memory. Tian immediately ran into the bathroom shyly. Wait, give me some time, I might remember. After showering, Tian lingered in the bathroom, reluctant to come out. She sighed, He's still my ex-boyfriend's uncle after all. How inappropriate is this? While lost in thought, Tian suddenly heard the door closing outside. Tian immediately opened the door. Did Ji Zheng just leave without a word? Seeing the empty room, Tian shouted angrily. I knew there wasn't a single decent person in the Ji family. Just as Tian arrived at work, her supervisor stopped her. Tian, you've got a big scoop this time. Someone from the bureau is coming to take your statement. Tian was elated, surprised that her report on illegal waste disposal had gained such attention and prompted an investigation so quickly. There was a knock at the door. A police officer stood there saying, Miss Zhou, Tian, right? Though we didn't ask you to come to the station, please tell us the truth. Tian was confused. Aren't I just a witness in this case? The officer took out some documents. We've thoroughly investigated the dumping site. The factory only dumped tap water. This doesn't constitute illegal waste disposal. Tian responded in disbelief. How could it be tap water? Who would dump 4 or 5 barrels of tap water in the mountains at midnight? However, the officer didn't answer her question. The factory manager is now pressing defamation charges against you. We're here to take your statement about that. Just then, Tian's phone rang. Brother Shi's voice came through. Miss Zhou, surprised. Let's meet and have a good talk. Tian closed her eyes and compromised fine. Sitting across from Tian, brother, she spoke casually. Actually, there's room for negotiation. If I don't press charges, it'll be fine. I just manage this place. You should talk to my boss, Ji Zheng. He makes all the decisions. Upon learning the boss was Ji Zheng, she angrily went to Ji Zheng's company. Arriving at the CEO's office, Tian gritted her teeth. I knew he was up to no good. Ji Zheng saw Tian and gave a few instructions before dismissing his assistant. The furious Tian took a deep breath, forcing herself to calm down. Like a master of faces, she put on a sweet smile and greeted, "Hello, Uncle Ji." Facing Tian's eager expression, Ji Zheng wasn't buying it. "What brings you here, Miss Zhou?" Tian immediately clasped her hands and blinked. "Could Uncle Ji please drop the charges?" Ji Zheng approached Tian and asked, "Didn't Miss Zhou say capitalists care most about benefits? What do I get if I drop the charges?" Tian shrugged and said casually, "No money, just me." Ji Zheng had been waiting for these words. He said, "That works. I was drugged. Someone chased me. The 12th floor stairway was open. Only your room was unlocked. Now you want me. Uncle Ji, what exactly are your intentions?" Tian was very confused by Ji Zheng's behavior. Ji Zheng smiled. "What if I say I've had a crush on you?" Hearing this, Tian's face immediately turned red. Seeing her blushing face, Ji Zheng teased, "Such thin skin. How come you weren't blushing when talking earlier?" Tian coughed lightly. Hiding her embarrassment, she said, "Tell me your conditions, Uncle Ji." "Marry me." Ji Zheng's words made Tian explode. Tian couldn't help but curse. Ji Zheng pinned Tian against the wall. "Zhou, no cursing." Ji Zheng took out a document. "Take a look. The lawyers have drafted the agreement. You can add any requests." Tian took the document and opened it, saying confusedly, "Is this because of last night? You want me to take responsibility?" "Uncle Ji, actually, our younger generation is very open-minded. I'm really sorry about yesterday. I was confused and made you work so hard." Tian waved her hand. Ji Zheng's tone turned cold. "Who else have you been this open-minded with?" Tian immediately backed down and said with a laugh, "I'll take a look." In the agreement, the title stated that Party B could freely use Party A's supplementary credit cards. Ji Zheng's credit card was something else. Not only unlimited funds, but also the best VIP treatment everywhere. After reading the document, Tian teased, "Uncle Ji, you're too generous. This isn't looking for a wife. It's more like finding a Buddha to worship." Ji Zheng hinted, "So do you want to be that Buddha?" Tian pretended to be confused, but one shouldn't accept benefits without merit. This agreement is basically like selling myself. Without a good reason, I won't agree just to make you drop the charges. I need a wife for appearance's sake to appease my family's marriage pressure. And you happen to be the girl my nephew likes, so you're my perfect choice." Then Tian remembered Ji Boyan had mentioned that Ji Zheng wasn't favored by old Master Ji. He was sent to a boarding school as soon as he was born. There were rumors that his stepfather had no interest in running the company, so Ji Zheng managed it. Once Ji Boyan settled down, he would become the heir. If that's the case, it's possible he wants to use this to get revenge on Ji Boyan and satisfy his jealousy. Ji Zheng spoke again. "Miss Zhou, working with me is foolproof. If you want to be a good journalist, you'll inevitably offend many powerful people. I'm your strongest umbrella of protection." Tian thought about it seriously, regardless of whether his reasons were true or false. Having Ji Zheng as a backer was indeed a good thing. Besides, Ji Boyan would have to call her Annie in the future. Just thinking about it made Tian laugh. With these thoughts, Tian picked up the pen. "I have one condition. You can't scheme against me." Ji Zheng just smiled and said, "Come back with me to the Ji family for dinner tonight." Tian agreed, and without further hesitation, signed her name on the document. Back at the newspaper office, Tian sneakily went to the director's office. "Senior, you were looking for me?" Seeing Tian, Chu Cheng angrily said, "Who's your senior?" The guilty Tian immediately went to massage his shoulders. "How could I know they were so crazy to water plants in the mountains at night? Besides, my source's information has always been reliable. I just didn't verify what was in the barrels." But Chu Cheng showed no mercy, no excuses. Careless is careless. Getting to business, Chu Cheng opened his computer. There's a new story for you to investigate. Come take a look. This is a video sent from an anonymous account. They probably saw our trending topic last night and know about our studio. They want us to investigate the school undercover. I'll send the school information to your email later. The enrollment procedures are already arranged. Tian suddenly became hesitant. I'm already 22. Isn't it inappropriate for me to go to school? Chu Cheng threatened without mercy. I haven't even complained about your article labeling us as a fake studio. Consider this your penance. Working-class Tian could only tearfully agree. By the way, you've become quite capable. You got them to drop the charges yourself. I even went to the orange factory wanting to help you resolve the wastewater plant issue. Chu Cheng praised. Tian flattered him. That's all thanks to your good teaching, senior. Coming to her senses, Tian was suspicious. Was Ji Zheng really that efficient? Or was he just trying to scare me from the beginning? Dressed up elegantly, Tian stood at the Ji family's door. Soon her ex-boyfriend would have to respectfully call her Annie. Thinking about this, Tian couldn't help but look forward to getting her revenge tonight. Ji Zheng, holding her hand, said, "Only Boyan and my brother are home." Tian suddenly saluted and promised, "Uncle Ji, from now on, if you say east, I won't go west. I'll definitely listen to you well." Ji Zheng looked at Tian with confusion. Why such high awareness suddenly? After looking around, Tian replied, "Because I'm afraid you'll dismember me. Your yard is so big, you could bury my organs 10 meters apart." Just then, Ji Boyan's voice came over. "Hello, uncle." Just as he was about to greet his supposed new aunt, Ji Boyan looked up and froze. Ji Boyan recognized who it was, and his expression changed immediately. "Tian, why are you here?" Ji Zheng released his intimidating aura without mercy. "Ji Boyan, address her properly." Tian hugged Ji Zheng's arm and said with a smile, "Little Zhe, haven't processed it yet? It's okay if you don't address me now. Let's go inside first," she said, leaving Ji Boyan in confused disarray. Coming to his senses, Ji Boyan grabbed Tian. "Zhou Jintian, what's going on? Why are you with my uncle?" Tian immediately shook off Ji Boyan's hand and shouted, "Let go of me! You're hurting me!" Ji Boyan grabbed Tian's shoulders again. "Tian, that affair was because I was drunk. You have to believe me. You're the only one I love." Tian was exasperated. "The storm is past. You think you're capable again?" Then, Ji Boyan noticed the intimate red marks on Tian's neck and loudly asked, "Who did this?" Ji Zheng came over, pulled Tian close, and said, "I did." Ji Boyan couldn't hold back anymore and shouted at Tian, "Zhou Jintian, do you love me or not?" Tian responded, "I love your novels." Under Ji Zheng's pressure, Ji Boyan had to bow his head and respectfully say, "Annie." At this moment, Ji Boyan's brother appeared. "Why are you all standing here? Go wash your hands and prepare for dinner." He turned and took out a red envelope, giving it to Tian. "Take this, just a small token." Seeing this, Tian immediately declined. "No need, I couldn't." Ji Zheng spoke up, "Since my brother is giving it, take it. When Boyan gets married later, we'll give an even bigger one back." Big brother Ji patted Ji Zheng's shoulder. "Little Tian has a gentle personality. Don't bully her just because of this." Ji Zheng replied, "I'm too busy cherishing her." After dinner, sitting in Ji Zheng's car, Tian couldn't resist taking out the red envelope and looking at it repeatedly. Seeing this, Ji Zheng couldn't help but smile. "Little money lover," the driver remarked. "It's the first time I've seen Mr. Ji make such an expression." Then Ji Zheng looked at Tian and said gently, "Bring your household registration book tomorrow. We'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau." Tian flatly refused. "Not possible. I have something tomorrow." Ji Zheng wasn't angry, just asked, "What do you have?" Tian said seriously, "Tomorrow I'm going to school." "What school are you going to? Planning to go back to kindergarten?" Tian explained with shock. "I'm a reporter. Of course I'm going to school to dig up news." Speaking of this, Tian remembered something and said bluntly, "Don't forget, you schemed against my last big news and almost affected my career." The car stopped at Ji Zheng's building, but Tian said, "I don't want to go to your place. I want to go to my own home." Ji Zheng ignored her words. "I'll count to 3. Tian sarcastically remarked, childish, but honestly got out of the car. "I understand we need to play the part completely, so I'll stay at your place, but we need to set some ground rules first." Ji Zheng stated, "I'm not interested in your small frame." Hearing this, Tian got angry but don't know what my figure is like. Blushing, Tiantian changed the subject. Never mind, I need to wake up early for school tomorrow. Let's go in quickly. The next day, Tiantian, wearing a school uniform, stood at the podium and greeted everyone. Hello, I'm Zhou Jintian. I'm happy to become your classmate today. The teacher beside her said, Zhou Jintian, please find an empty seat. Tiantian looked up and immediately noticed the girl in the last row. She had found her main target. Tiantian smiled and greeted the girl. Hi, I'm your new desk mate, while offering her a piece of candy. The girl looked up at Tiantian briefly, then lowered her head and ignored her. A girl from the front row turned around. Don't bother with her. She's just a freak. In the end, Tiantian still put the candy in the girl's desk drawer. While sitting outside the mall, Tiantian suddenly received a phone call. She looked at it. It was from Jizheng. Tiantian answered and asked what he wanted. The man on the other end simply said, Come here. Tiantian looked around and found Jizheng standing in a corner not far away. She was confused. Why was Jizheng here? Jizheng explained he was inspecting his own mall, then asked, Weren't you supposed to be in class? He also teased, Did you bring your household registration book? Tiantian said she didn't bring it. Jizheng spoke again. Then let's go get it from your apartment now. Tiantian immediately refused fiercely. No way, I need to go back to school soon. The discipline teacher is really strict. Jizheng replied, Fine, then write me a 10,000-word self-criticism. Tiantian immediately protested. Why should I? Jizheng flicked Tiantian's forehead. Little kids shouldn't lie. After being flicked, Tiantian's expression turned tearful. Seeing this, Jizheng bluntly exposed her. Zhou Jintian, don't fake cry. Just then, there was a camera click sound nearby. It was the girl from the front row. She looked at the two and asked, Zhou Jintian, what are you doing here? Tiantian pushed away the man beside her. Just getting some fresh air. The girl asked again who the man beside her was. Tiantian seriously answered that he was her uncle, then gave Jizheng a look signaling him not to expose her in front of her classmate, as she still needed to gather information. Understanding the situation, Jizheng played along. Our Tiantian is immature. Please take care of her in the future. The girl agreed and said she would. Jizheng turned to Tiantian. Well then, my good niece, I'll see you tonight. Tiantian was actually a reporter pretending to be a student to uncover the truth. Feeling drowsy, she unconsciously reached for her phone. Just then, the discipline teacher suddenly appeared behind Tiantian. I already emphasized classroom discipline to every class at noon, yet you dare to use your phone in class. Tiantian explained, Sir, I wasn't in the classroom at noon, and I just took out my phone. Before she finished, the discipline teacher became angrier. Instead of reflecting on your mistake, you talk back to me. You're a day student, right? Bring your parents after school. Tiantian collapsed helplessly on her desk, sighing, How am I supposed to bring parents? A boy from the front row turned around and placed a can of cola on Tiantian's desk as comfort. Sweet sister, are your parents too busy to come? Another girl turned around and scolded Tiantian's deskmate. You dead freak. Couldn't you warn sweet sister when you saw someone patrolling outside? Tiantian quickly defended her. Don't blame her. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have taken out my phone during class. The boy gave Tiantian a thumbs up, as expected of our sweet sister, beautiful and kind-hearted. After school, Tiantian deliberately dawdled, hoping the discipline teacher had left. When she cautiously opened the classroom door to check, as soon as she opened the door, she received the discipline teacher's death stare. Tiantian immediately said, I'll make the call now. With no choice, Tiantian called Jizheng. Uncle Ji, are you free right now? Tiantian nervously explained, I made a small mistake today, and the teacher wants to see my parents. Jizheng laughed. Zhou Jintian, you're really something. Under the teacher's stare, Tiantian could only continue. Uncle Ji, are you free or not? On the other end, Jizheng asked, Who are you to me, and who am I to you? I'm your wife. Tiantian was so angry she wanted to throw her phone, but she still acted cute. Please, my dear uncle, come save me now. I'll grant you one wish in return, okay? I'll do anything, be it manual labor or whatever. Jizheng, who came to help, listened to the teacher's endless nagging. I see you're busy, but as Zhou's guardian, you must pay more attention to her. Now she's just violating school rules. But what if in the future, in society? At this moment, the school principal rushed over. Mr. G, what an unexpected honor to have you here. Under the principal's death stare, the discipline teacher immediately changed his tone. Anyway, student Zhou is still a very good student. This was just a minor warning. Jizheng pinched his brow. The young lady is quite mischievous. Thank you for your concern. The principal smiled and revealed his true purpose. About this year's school sponsorship, Ji Zheng turned to look at Tian Tian, who was sitting obediently while frantically hinting that she was starving. He said, "Come to Ye's on Monday to discuss the details." Finally getting to eat, Tian Tian was content. "Uncle Ji, thank you for taking time from your busy schedule to help me. If you have any requests, just name them." Ji Zheng replied that he had no other requests. "Just please find time to register our marriage, Miss Zhou." Then Tian Tian realized something wasn't right. "Wait, you arrived within 10 minutes of my call. You were waiting outside the school gate, weren't you?" Ji Zheng neither confirmed nor denied, only saying, "I'll be away on business for the next 2 days. Behave yourself, and don't forget the 10,000 word self-criticism." Tian Tian felt like cold water had been poured over her. "Oh no, I forgot about that." When she met Duan Qingwu again, Tian Tian told her everything that had happened these past 2 days. Hearing this, Duan Qingwu wanted to give her a thumbs up. "Zhou, you're something else. I never knew you were so obedient. When I told you to sleep with him, you actually did it." Tian Tian lowered her head, guiltily saying it wasn't for nothing. They had signed a marriage agreement. Duan Qingwu angrily punched Tian Tian's head. "A man worth billions would marry you just because you slept with him once? Do you have any brains? Do you know what his real intentions are?" "I don't care what his intentions are. I'm not pure in my motives either." This successfully shut Duan Qingwu up. Seeing Duan Qingwu puffed up like a blowfish, Tian Tian quickly linked arms with her and changed the subject. "Haven't gone shopping in a while. Let's go take a walk." While shopping, the two discussed Tian Tian's situation at school. "So you only know that girl is called Li Weining, nothing else?" Tian Tian sighed helplessly. "She's quite introverted. I don't know how to approach her." Just then, a delicious aroma wafted over. Tian Tian couldn't help but look toward it and saw a barbecue stand. Tian Tian's eyes immediately lit up as she went over. "Hello, I'd like one order." Just then, an unexpected voice came. "Grandma, I've brought the sauce." Tian Tian looked over, and it really was Li Weining. The elderly vendor reminded her, "Ying, tie up your hair, it's hot." Just then, the elderly vendor served the barbecue, saying, "Here you go, young lady." Li Weining also noticed Tian Tian. Tian Tian didn't say anything, just handed her a hair tie. "I have a hair tie here." Li Weining stared at the hair tie in bewilderment. She was different from others. "He's gone but still texting me to write the self-criticism. If I really write 10,000 words, my hand will shake like I have Parkinson's." Getting an idea, Tian Tian decided to video call Ji Zheng. Ji Zheng answered immediately on the other end, asking what's wrong. Tian Tian asked sweetly, "Uncle Ji, can I ask you something? Can I submit the self-criticism electronically? I promise I'll exceed the requirements." Ji Zheng mercifully agreed. Tian Tian immediately exclaimed excitedly, "Uncle, I love you." Just then, a strange voice came from the other end. "Mr. Ji, is this your niece? She's cute." Tian Tian nearly coughed up blood hearing this. She angrily asked, "You have other people there?" Ji Zheng explained he was in a project discussion. Tian Tian immediately hung up without hesitation. Tian Tian started typing something on her computer. Whatever, as they say, you don't hit a smiling face. If I flatter him enough, I don't believe Ji Zheng will give me a hard time. She was seen searching online for various complimentary phrases to send to Ji Zheng. After finishing everything, Tian Tian stretched contentedly. Lying in bed, Tian Tian unknowingly slept until the next day. When she woke up again, she suddenly found Ji Zheng, who was supposed to be abroad on business, sitting on her bay window. Seeing Tian Tian awake, Ji Zheng took out his phone, explained this. Tian Tian discovered that in the compliment she sent to Ji Zheng, there was a phrase, "May your life be as short as an epiphyllum flower." This was bad. She hadn't checked carefully while copy-pasting. Who would be so malicious? Tian Tian felt like she was going to die. Tian Tian's expression immediately turned guilty. "Uncle Ji, I didn't write this." Ji Zheng held up his phone to Tian Tian's face again. "You didn't write this?" Tian Tian grabbed Ji Zheng's arm pleadingly with a fawning expression. "Uncle Ji, I really know I was wrong." Ji Zheng sighed and said not to let it happen again. "Get dressed. We're going out later." Tian Tian immediately brightened up. "Are we going for dinner?" Ji Zheng tapped her forehead. "Is food all you think about?" Tian Tian tried hard to protect her head from abuse, but wondered what else they could be doing at this hour if not eating. "We're going to your house to get your household registration book. The school has already approved your leave. It's perfect timing to go to the Civil Affairs Bureau." Tian Tian was stunned. "What reason did you use to get my leave approved?" Ji Zheng replied that the principal approved it at his request, no questions asked. Ji Zheng finally got his wish and brought Tian Tian to the Civil Affairs Bureau. The staff member frowned upon seeing them. You young people really don't take marriage seriously. Tiantian couldn't help muttering. Does this Annie have mind-reading powers? Did she figure out we're not marrying for love? Ji Zheng said it was his first marriage too, so he had no experience. The Annie reacted even more strongly hearing this. You're here to get married? This made Tiantian wonder if they really looked that ridiculous together. Then, the Annie couldn't help but remind them, young lady, that's the divorce line. If you want to get married, you need to queue over here. After the mix-up, Tiantian embarrassedly touched her head, said thanks, and ran to queue up again. Looking at the fresh marriage certificate, Tiantian said, actually, we don't need to get a certificate to be bound together. Let me leave first. Ji Zheng immediately pulled her back. Zhou Jintian, don't even think about it. While Tiantian was stunned, Ji Zheng quickly grabbed both marriage certificates. Tiantian stood on tiptoes trying to get them back. Why are you confiscating mine? Ji Zheng replied, you'll lose it, so I'll keep them safe. Unable to get them back, Tiantian gave up and hailed a taxi, saying whatever, I need to get back to school for class. Watching the departing taxi, Ji Zheng mumbled, I've now fulfilled your second wish. During break time, the class representative stood at the podium saying, after this semester's final exams, we need to organize a farewell party. Anyone who wants to perform can sign up with me. Oh, and Zhou Jintian, the teacher wants you to pick up your student ID from the academic office. Tiantian nudged Li Weiniang beside her. Can you come with me to get my student ID? A boy in front immediately turned around and interjected, sweet sis, I can go with you. Why ask that freak? Tiantian immediately waved him away. Tiantian clasped her hands together and pleaded, please, classmate Li Weiniang. After a long hesitation, Li Weiniang suddenly stood up. She walked straight out of the classroom. Tiantian was delighted. That means she agreed. Tiantian rushed forward and grabbed Li Weiniang's hand. Classmate Li, wait for me. Don't walk so fast. Li Weiniang suddenly spoke. Thank you. Everyone calls me a freak because of my birthmark, but only you remember my name. Tiantian reached out and brushed aside Li Weiniang's thick bangs. Li Weiniang wanted to dodge but held still. I'm very ugly, right? Tiantian's eyes sparkled as she comforted her. This birthmark can definitely be removed completely. Tomorrow I'll bring you some foundation to use. It can cover it so well no one will notice. Li Weiniang didn't respond, just said, the academic office is right ahead. Go get your ID. I'll wait here. While at the academic office, Tiantian received a call from Ji Zheng. I'll pick you up tonight for dinner at Xiaozhu Lu to meet some old friends. Hearing Xiaozhu Lu, Tiantian couldn't help repeating, that Xiaozhu Lu in the courtyard house? I heard the chef has decades of Michelin star experience, and normally you need to wait half a year for a reservation. Ji Zheng thought she might be busy and said it was fine if she couldn't come. Tiantian quickly replied, I'll take a taxi there after school. See you at Xiaozhu Lu. Excited about the fancy dinner, Tiantian went to find Li Weiniang. Weiniang, want to have lunch together? Xia Ziki will be there too. Tiantian watched Li Weiniang's expression expectantly. Li Weiniang seemed to recall something and trembled slightly, but still agreed. At lunch in the cafeteria, Xia Ziki put a shrimp on Tiantian's plate. Sweet sis, you're so thin. Eat more. Tiantian moved the shrimp to Li Weiniang's plate, saying she was on a diet. Li Weiniang said nothing and turned her head away, making Tiantian confused. What's wrong, Weiniang? Don't you like shrimp? Li Weiniang picked up the shrimp, holding back tears. She really seems to treat me as a friend. That evening, Tiantian successfully entered Xiaozhu Lu after mentioning Ji Zheng's name. Two men in the room noticed Tiantian. Sister, are you even of age? Ji Zheng married a schoolgirl. The other man smoothed things over. Stop teasing the young lady. Old Ji will settle scores with you when he returns. Tiantian texted Ji Zheng, saying, your friends are quite friendly. Just then, the man who had been joking earlier spoke again. Sister, that's not fair. Your husband messaged us in the group chat telling us not to bully you. Tiantian could no longer hold back her blush. After a while, footsteps were heard at the door. The man beside waved, Old Ji, you're finally here. Ji Zheng came to Tiantian's side and gently asked if she was hungry, only to find her slightly drunk. Ji Zheng's face immediately darkened. You gave her alcohol? The men quickly defended themselves. She poured her own drinks. We didn't encourage her. During dinner, they chatted casually. Tiantian, if you're 22, you must be a senior in college, right? Tiantian picked up a rib and said, I won first place in the math Olympiad at 16 and was directly admitted to Beijing University. I skipped a grade in sophomore year, so I've already completed my master's in philosophy. The others were puzzled. With such talent, why study philosophy? Tian explained. The philosophy professor said he'd give me a 100,000 yuan scholarship each year if I chose this major. Otherwise, I'd probably be in the planetarium now, accompanying the stars. Though jobs are hard to find with philosophy, it's quite meaningful for life. As she spoke, Tian's clothes shifted, revealing a tattoo on her lower back. Jizheng immediately became angry, pulled Tian closer, and pulled down her clothes. Zhou Jintian, what are you doing? One of the men curiously asked, what does that word mean? Tian smiled and explained, it's Dutch. It means in the gloomy sky, there's a beam of light shining on you. Back in the car, Jizheng looked at the sleeping Tian and gritted his teeth. Daring to show your clothes to other men. I'll deal with you when we get home. The next day, Tian brought makeup and eagerly said, let me do your makeup. Trust my skills. I'll just apply foundation. It'll look supernatural. Li Weiniing hesitated, but seemed expectant. Like yours? Tian said she was running late this morning and hadn't put on makeup. Hearing this, Li Weiniing's eyes widened with admiration. So Ten, is this beautiful even without makeup? Can this really cover it? Li Weiniing's voice carried a hint of hope. Tian assured her it would work. Just then her phone rang. It was Jizheng. Holding a powder puff in one hand and the phone in the other, Tian spoke quietly. Don't call me unless it's important. I'm at school. The voice on the other end asked if he should pick her up after school. Tian replied casually, whatever, we'll talk later. The assistant nearby, seeing the so love-struck for the first time, tried hard not to laugh. Li Weiniing asked, Tian, was that your boyfriend? Tian quickly shook her head. No, just an elder from my family. She then changed the subject, taking out a mirror. Never mind that, look at this. Li Weiniing was stunned, seeing her reflection without any birthmark. Is this really me? Just then, Xiaziki, returning from playing basketball, noticed Li Weiniing. Not recognizing her, he greeted, hey classmate, who are you? Thinking she might be a new student. Nearby, Tian angrily grabbed Xiaziki's clothes. Xiaziki looked carefully. This is my desk mate. Xiaziki embarrassedly rubbed his head. Li Weiniing, I didn't know you'd look so pretty with your hair tied up. Other classmates who noticed joined in. Wow, Li Weiniing is quite cute. Yeah, tying up her hair makes such a big difference. And used to such attention, Li Weiniing could only shyly say thank you. Watching the scene, Tian thought that most people didn't dislike her because of her birthmark. It was because of her self-consciousness about the birthmark. After school, Xiaziki asked Tian, isn't Li Weiniing walking home with you today? Tian smiled and said it was good that she could make new friends. Just then, a basketball suddenly flew towards the two of them. Noticing the basketball, Xiaziki shouted, Tian Mei, and instinctively turned to shield Tian. The principal quietly captured this moment and sent it to Jizheng. My little niece is doing well at school. The boy she chose isn't bad either, quite quick-witted. Jizheng looked at the photo on his phone, his face darkening. Zhou Jintian, you're really something. Meanwhile, a group of girls at the basketball court looked displeased. Why is Zhou Jintian always with Xiaziki? Does she like him? Another girl said, so she's the one who did makeup for that freak. How annoying. The malicious girl's expressions grew colder, filled with resentment, as if something had been stolen from them. One of them, furious, yelled at those beside her to shut up. At the school gate, Xiaziki asked Tian how she was getting home. Tian said her uncle was picking her up. At that moment, Jizheng got out of his car. Xiaziki greeted him. Hello, uncle. I'm Tian Mei's friend. The jealous Jizheng ignored him. Xiaziki called out to Tian. Jizheng repeated, Tian Mei, putting an arm around Tian's shoulders. What uncle am I to you? Tian frantically tried to signal Jizheng to stop, but he continued. Let me reintroduce myself. I am Zhou Jintian's lawful husband. He then pulled Tian into the car and drove away, leaving Xiaziki standing there bewildered. In the car, Tian was furious. Don't you know I still have work at school? What if he tells other students? How can I stay at school? Jizheng immediately apologized. I spoke too impulsively today. Don't be angry. But Tian wouldn't accept it. If you do this again, we'll end the contract and divorce. Ji Zheng grabbed Tiantian's wrist and pushed her back against the seat. Then without hesitation, he leaned in and kissed her. Zhou Jintian, you'd better remember your current status. That night, Tiantian's phone rang. It was Ji Boyan calling. Tiantian answered impatiently. What is it? The voice on the other end said, Tiantian, can you come to Black Mirror? Ji Boyan is drunk, keeps calling your name. He's making a scene, and we can't handle him. Tiantian sighed. We broke up long ago. Ji Boyan, who had been eavesdropping nearby, grabbed the phone. Zhou Jintian, you think my uncle married you because he likes you? It's all because of that letter. Tiantian was stunned. What letter? Without hearing the response, Tiantian hung up and left. In the bar's private room, Ji Boyan, who had been waiting, said, Tiantian, you finally agreed to see me. Tiantian, not wanting any entanglement, only asked, what did you mean about the letter you mentioned on the phone? Ji Boyan suddenly stood up and grabbed Tiantian's shoulders. You only have Ji Zheng in your heart now, right? Zhou Jintian, did you ever really like me? Tiantian pushed Ji Boyan away. Are you sick? You were the one who cheated first. Ji Boyan shouted back. Yes, my cheating was unforgivable. But can you, Zhou Jintian, claim to be innocent? Weren't you just using me to interview Ji Zheng when we first got together? But I never did that interview. Although initially I agreed to your confession for that reason. I genuinely cared about our relationship later, Tiantian thought to herself, then angrily left the private room. The next day at school, Tiantian saw Li Weining and brightened up. Wow, Ying, you curled your hair. It looks really nice. Li Weining smiled shyly. It makes me look more cheerful. Tiantian couldn't help but ask, Ying, has someone been bullying you before? Li Weining immediately lowered her head and denied it. No. Just then, the discipline teacher appeared at the door. Your class hasn't reported for the evening party yet? Those who aren't wearing uniforms, perfect, form a group and dance on stage. The boys in class wailed. No, teacher, I don't want to cross-dress. When Li Weining tried to leave the bathroom, she found herself blocked. The girl in front spoke with a bitter expression. You think dressing like Zhou Jintian will make you as popular as him? As Li Weining tried to deny it, the girl continued. You don't know what others say about you behind your back, do you? They say you're just a copycat, an ugly monster who only knows how to imitate. You really think you've become a swan? Look, I like Xiaziki. Let's work together. Once he's gone, Xiaziki will be mine, and you won't have to be his shadow anymore. The girl held up her phone. Zhou Jintian says this man is his uncle, but regardless of who he is, we'll spread that he's a sugar daddy. We'll ruin his reputation. That evening when Tiantian came back drunk again, Uncle Ji Boyan told me yesterday that you married me because of a letter. What letter? Was it some imperial decree? Zhou Jintian, you've been drinking again. Ji Zheng could tell from his condition. I know you married me to use me, but if I become useless, you won't be able to use me anymore. Tiantian could no longer hold back. She fell asleep leaning against Ji Zheng's chest. Ji Zheng helplessly picked up Tiantian and put her on the bed. His phone received a message from Ji Boyan. I'm coming to Xinga Bay tomorrow morning to talk about something. Don't leave. The next day, Tiantian stretched while waiting for Ji Boyan. What does Ji Boyan want? If it's any later, I'll miss my exam. Just as Tiantian decided not to wait and pressed the elevator button, the doors opened to reveal Ji Boyan. Ji Boyan frowned. Didn't I ask you to wait at home? Why are you leaving now? Tiantian replied bluntly. Waiting for you? I might as well wait for death. Death is more punctual than you. Ji Boyan smiled. What I said about the letter yesterday was made up. I just wanted to lure you to Black Mirror. Don't take it to heart. Tiantian said she hadn't been concerned about it. But since you came specially to explain, now I'm really interested. Tiantian seemed to guess. Ji Zheng sent you, didn't he? Tell him I'm not interested in his motives. I care about the results of our cooperation. That day, Li Weining walked into the classroom. As she passed by Tiantian, the perceptive Tiantian immediately noticed something was wrong. After class, when Li Weining went out again, Tiantian quietly followed her. Tiantian caught up with Li Weining and gently tapped her shoulder. Is someone bullying you? Li Weining turned and shouted. It's none of your business. Don't be afraid. If someone's bullying you, just tell me. I'll help dash. Before Tiantian could finish, Li Weining cut her off. Li Weining laughed bitterly. Everyone says I'm copying you. Are you pleased about that? Do you enjoy finding validation through me? Zhou Jintian. Aren't you just trying to feel superior through me? Tiantian looked hurt. Is that really what you think of me? Li Weining unconsciously touched her birthmark. Isn't it true? Before helping others, please sort out your own messy relationships first. Don't flirt around just because you have a pretty face. Tian also became annoyed. Li Weining, if you can't overcome your own insecurities, you won't become beautiful even without the birthmark on your face. She walked away without looking back. Li Weining watched Tian leave, silently clenching her fists. Backstage at the event, the principal reminded Zhou Jintian again. It's okay if you can't dance well later, just focus on staying stable. Don't fall, understand? Tian said she'd try her best. The principal asked doubtfully, "Are you sure you'll be okay?" Tian replied irritably, "Even though I danced badly, at least I showed up. I can't be worse than him." Tian pointed at the cross-dressing Xiaziki. Finally, it was their turn to perform. Tian's outfit caught everyone's attention. The audience swooned over Tian. "Who's that girl in the black dress? She's so pretty." "That's Zhou Jintian. She's famous on our school forum." Just then, a message exploded on the school forum. A Zhou surname female student from International Marketing 3rd year is dating multiple boyfriends and has a sugar daddy outside school. She has a boyfriend at school and a sugar daddy outside. The best part is she doesn't even call him uncle. Another person laughed sleazily. "I didn't know she was so easy. Maybe I could hook up with her too." Ji Zheng noticed the situation and coldly told them to leave. The two recognized Ji Zheng. "Aren't you the man from the photo? What right do you have to make us leave?" The principal hurried over. "Mr. Ji, the students are being thoughtless. Please don't take offense. I'll take them away right now." On stage, Tian, unaware of what was happening, was still trying to follow the rhythm. However, she accidentally fell down. In the chaos, Tian accidentally tripped another student. As Tian sneaked away, fearing punishment, she heard commotion outside. "How did I end up with such a worthless child? Can't even get into high school, and now forcing your grandmother to pay for plastic surgery. You ugly monster." Li Weining couldn't help but argue back. "It's your fault. I was born this ugly. What's wrong with wanting to be pretty?" The man slapped Li Weining's face. "Get lost. From now on, I don't have a daughter. Don't ever come home again." Li Weining became defiant. "Fine. I should have died with mom anyway." Tian stepped forward to protect Li Weining. "Is this how you bully her?" The girl saw Tian and flipped her hair. "Oh, it's you. I didn't know you were so thick-skinned. How dare you come to school with such a bad reputation?" Tian said confidently. "You're the one who made Li Weining post that, right? And you took those photos. Speaking of reputation, I have a video of you stealing from the convenience store yesterday. Do you think people will believe baseless rumors or solid surveillance evidence?" The girl panicked immediately. "How do you have that video?" Tian just waved her phone. "I don't want to say much. Let me be clear. If you bully Li Weining or any other students again, I will definitely post these videos online and give them to the police." The girl snorted coldly, looking somewhat reluctant as she turned and left. Tian didn't look back at Li Weining, but said, "If you don't want to be bullied, become stronger. Your father and grandmother aren't obligated to pay for this. You can work part-time to earn money. But remember, studying well is the most important thing." Watching Tian leave, Li Weining couldn't help but call out, "Zhou Jintian, I said such horrible things to you. Why did you still help me?" Tian didn't look back, just said, "If evil cannot be accepted as a possibility, then the existence of good is meaningless." Li Weining was stunned, looked at the candy in her hand, and finally said thank you. Tian, sheltering from the rain at the teaching building entrance, watched as the rain got heavier, feeling increasingly irritated. Just then, a male student called out to her from behind, "Zhou Jintian, I just watched your performance. I think you danced really well." Tian awkwardly said thanks. The boy continued, "I really like you. Can I have your phone number? I'm graduating soon and don't want to have any regrets." Just as Tian was awkwardly thinking of how to refuse, Ji Zheng appeared like a deity descending from heaven with an umbrella. Seeing her savior, Tian ran towards Ji Zheng without hesitation in the rain. Ji Zheng quickly pulled Tian close, saying reproachfully, "Why are you out in the rain? Your clothes are soaked." The boy nearby, seeing this scene, couldn't help but interrupt. "Hello, may I ask who you are?" Ji Zheng held Tian in his arms, claiming his territory. "I'm her husband. Sorry to interrupt you." Hearing this, the boy quickly fled the scene. On this carefree day, Tian received a call from her team leader. "Xiao Tian, I'm quite busy right now. Could you bring lunch to Chu Chang at the hospital?" Tian immediately sat up in bed. "What's wrong, team leader? Why is Chu Chang in the hospital?" The team leader asked, "Don't you know Chu Chang has cancer?" Rushing to the hospital, Tian stopped the nurse and asked, "Excuse me, there's a cancer patient named Chu Chung. Which room is he in? How is his condition?" The nurse patiently replied, "Chu Chung has mid-stage liver cancer, staying in room 504. He's currently undergoing targeted therapy. Besides a regular lifestyle, there's also some genetic factors. Don't worry too much. There's still a chance for recovery if he follows the treatment properly." At this moment, Chu Chung in the ward noticed Tian's arrival. Tian's expression was both worried and angry. "Chu Chung, next time I see you, will it be at your funeral?" Chu Chung laughed it off. "You know what they say, die quietly and surprise everyone." Speechless, Tian retorted bluntly, "I'm waiting for you to die, so I can inherit your studio." Chu Chung immediately became agitated. "My targeted treatments have all been successful. As long as you stop annoying me, I'll definitely live to 100. Tian put her hands on her hips and sighed. "Then maybe I should just quit and take a vacation." Chu Chung said quitting wasn't possible. "How about this? I'll arrange some easier work for you in the entertainment industry for a while." Assigned to the entertainment industry, Tian met Chu Cheng's good friend, veteran manager Shenanji. "If you listen well, I can definitely make you a top star in the entertainment industry," Shenanji said confidently. Tian looked down at the script, confused. "Wasn't I supposed to be a paparazzi? Why am I being cast as an actor?" Shenanji elegantly sipped his coffee before explaining. He said, "You need to infiltrate the entertainment industry to capture breaking news. That's why I, who was just fired, am managing you. I didn't want to agree at first, but your conditions are indeed good." Tian was curious about what fired meant. Hearing this, Shenanji angrily slammed his fist on the table. "My previous artist, secretly dated during their rising period, got caught by reporters, their image collapsed, and all their endorsements face compensation claims from clients. I'm really sick of these love-obsessed people. By the way, you're not dating anyone, right?" Tian immediately shook her head vigorously, promising, "Heaven and earth be my witness. I'm really not dating anyone and won't date in the future." However, in her heart she thought, "Surprise, I'm already married." Shenanji pointed at the script. "This is an urban romance drama. The female lead is a famous rising star, and the male lead is from an idol background with some following. You'll play the female lead's rival." The third female lead, Tian looked down at the character description. "The daughter of the male lead's boss, spoiled since childhood, repeatedly uses underhanded methods to frame the female lead to win the male lead's favor, eventually becomes hated by everyone, and is abandoned. Even her father's company is passed to the third party's child." How about it? Isn't it challenging? You don't have much to do today. Just go home and study the script. Tomorrow, I'll take you to meet the lead actors and director, Shenanji instructed. "I've created your public image as pure and gentle, like an innocent rabbit who knows nothing about the world. This type is very popular in the entertainment industry right now. Think about this image carefully when you get home." While Tian was studying the script at home, Jijin returned and asked what she was reading. Tian smiled and said, "I'm about to become a celebrity that's too high class for you." Jijin smiled and said, "Let's have dinner with Uncle later. He wants to meet you." Tian couldn't figure out who it was. Jijin explained, "It's Director Dong from the Housing and Construction Bureau." Tian put down the script and crossed her legs. "If Uncle G needs my help, shouldn't there be some gesture?" Jijin asked amusedly. "What do you want?" Tian's expression immediately became excited. "I want your white Rolls Royce." Jijin adjusted his tie. "You like that car so much? Then you can drive it later." Getting her wish, Tian immediately bowed repeatedly in gratitude. Successfully sitting in the driver's seat, Tian promised, "Uncle G, don't worry. Although I haven't officially driven since getting my license, I've played plenty of go-karts." Hearing this, Jijin said nothing but quietly tightened his seatbelt. When the light turned green, Tian started the car and stepped on the gas. Suddenly, an electric bike rushed out onto the road. In the emergency, to avoid hitting the person, Tian sharply turned the steering wheel to one side. The car veered toward the roadside and crashed directly into a tree. The electric bike rider hurriedly apologized. "I'm really sorry, I was in a rush and didn't check the traffic light." Jijin quickly got out of the car and anxiously asked if she was hurt anywhere. Tian said the car damage was quite serious. The man beside them expressed deep regret. "My mother is critically ill in the hospital. waiting for me to sign documents. It's all my fault for not checking the traffic light. Please give me your phone number so I can contact you later about compensating for the car damage. Onlookers whispered among themselves. A Rolls-Royce. The repair costs must be hundreds of thousands. Tintian waved her hand. Forget it, forget it. This was my careless driving. It has nothing to do with you. Your mother is waiting for you at the hospital. Go quickly. Hearing this, the man bowed repeatedly in thanks. Before leaving, the man still took out his phone and photographed the license plate. At this time, the driver hurriedly arrived. Mr. G, the insurance company is on their way. Let me drive you and madam to the restaurant now. Tian bowed slightly and apologized. Let me know about the repair costs. I'll take full responsibility. After changing to another car, the two finally arrived at the restaurant entrance. Just as Tian got out of the car, her phone rang. She looked down at the number on her phone and frowned. Meanwhile, in the private room, a young man had just walked in when others teased him. You just returned to the country and already contacted your girlfriend? The man explained. What girlfriend? It's my sister. You have a sister? The man continued explaining. Yes, she's always been in China. The man in the private room was Director Dong. He explained, today I've also invited my nephew and his wife for dinner. I really can't spare much time. The young man said it was fine. He wouldn't mind. Director Dong spoke again. Xiaozhou, I really like you more and more. How about this? Let me introduce my daughter to you. We might as well become family. Just then, Ji Zheng's voice came from outside. Zhou Jintian, you're not allowed to drive anymore. Tianyang compromised. Okay, I won't drive. Director Dong rose to welcome them, smiling as he spoke. Xiao Zhang is here. This is my nephew's wife. She's really beautiful. Tian smiled and greeted. Hello, uncle. Director Dong patted the young man beside him and introduced. This is Xiaozhou, Zhou Yanli. He's one of my best students whom I taught overseas. He just returned to the country today. For some reason, Zhou Yanli's hand trembled uncontrollably, spilling water from his cup. Tian also frowned when she saw who was in the private room. Why is he at this table? Director Dong initiated conversation. Your name is Zhou Jintian, right? Tian nodded absent-mindedly. Ji Zhun, noticing the situation, asked, Are you feeling unwell? He picked up a mushroom and placed it in Tiantian's bowl. Suddenly, Zhou Yanli spoke from across the table. She doesn't like mushrooms. Hearing this, Ji Zhun turned to look at Zhou Yanli. As if defying Zhou Yanli, Tian unhesitatingly picked up the mushroom and swallowed it. After eating, she stood up and said, I'm going to the bathroom. Zhou Yanli also excused himself. Director Dong was confused. What's going on? Ji Zhun joked. You really know how to arrange meetings. By generation, I should also call her brother along with Tian. Director Dong became even more puzzled. So the sister Xiao Zhou mentioned is Xiao Tian? What a wonderful coincidence. Why are these two pretending not to know each other? Ji Zhun also frowned. The relationship between Zhou Yanli and Tian seemed different from what was investigated. In the bathroom, Tian couldn't hold it anymore and started vomiting at the sink. Zhou Yanli, who had followed her, handed her a tissue. You still don't like mushrooms. Why did you eat it just now? But Tian didn't want any connection with him and just said, Move aside. Zhou Yanli blocked Tian's path. Tian, please stop being angry with me. Tian said expressionlessly. Zhou Yanli, even though we have no blood relation, you'll always be family I can't cut ties with. No matter how much I resent it, one day, in front of our parents, I won't deny calling you brother. Zhou Yanli's expression became urgent. So have you forgiven me? Just like how I don't like mushrooms, even if I eat them, I'll still forcefully throw them up. You should know very well, this has always been my only way of resistance. Zhou Yanli clenched his fists. What about Ji Zhun? Why did you suddenly marry him? Tian laughed mockingly. How do you know it was sudden? Our child can already call you uncle. Ji Zhun heard all of Tian's bluffing words as he arrived. Ji Zhun didn't say anything, just called Tian to come over. Only after they walked away, Ji Zhun couldn't help but tease. I heard our child can already talk. Tian told Duan Qingwu everything. Looking at her friend's message, Tian fell into deep thought. If she leaks the news of my marriage to my family, that's not bad. It saves me from having to go home and tell them myself. Ji Zhun reminded her. What are you looking at? We're home. Tian looked at Ji Zhun beside her and couldn't help asking. You haven't asked about my relationship with Zhou Yanli. Aren't you curious? Ji Zhun blinked. If you don't want to tell me, Would you even if I asked? Tian still explained. Actually, Zhou Yanli is my half-brother, same father, different mother. But our relationship is very bad, you know? Anyway, it's just really bad. Ji Jun didn't ask further, patted her head and said, all right, go upstairs and get some sleep. Tian also tacitly stopped talking and waved to Ji Jun, Uncle Ji. Good night. The next day, Shenanji came to visit Tian. He was stopped by security at the community entrance. Morning, Brother Shen. Tian came to rescue Shenanji, wearing her home clothes. Shenanji laughed at Tian's unkempt appearance. You just came out in your pajamas like this? Tian touched her face proudly. Don't I look pretty like this? Stunned by Tian's beauty, Shenanji still said, you need to know you're a public figure now. You must dress properly when going out. Anyway, how come you're living in Xinhuan? Tian picked up the milk tea from the table and took a guilty sip. What's wrong with living in Xinhuan? Shenanji firmly refused. No, the public image I created for you doesn't allow you to live in such a 100 million yuan mansion. Tian tentatively asked, then should I move under the bridge tonight? Shenanji rolled his eyes and said, fine, you're not famous yet anyway. I'll arrange this matter later. But you must remember your public image. Poor, but ambitious. Well-dressed Tian sat obediently in the car, curiously asking Shenanji beside her. For someone like me acting in movies, when can I usually get the payment? Shenanji in the passenger seat replied bluntly. The director and producer haven't even decided if they want you yet, and here you are already thinking about money. With eyes full of money signs, Tian eagerly asked again. Well, if the director decides to take me today, when can I get my payment? Shenanji suppressed his urge to hit Tian and answered. They'll pay you the entry fee up front, then progress payments during filming, and finally the balance after completion. The car slowly stopped at the crew entrance, and Tian got out and walked in. The male lead who was chatting inside noticed Tian at the door. He exclaimed happily, Tian, why are you here? Tian also smiled and greeted. Song Zaishu, you're here too? However, Shenanji didn't give them any chance to chat and quickly pulled Tian away. Shenanji asked Tian, did you know Song Zaishu before? He's currently a popular male star and the male lead in this drama. Tian replied, I was a reporter before, remember? When unscrupulous paparazzi were following him, I helped him out. We're on good terms. A female actress looked at Tian with an unfriendly expression. Shenanji advised, that's you, Anna, the female lead. Be nice and go say hello to her. I don't like her expression. Tian was confused. What's wrong with saying hello? Why do I feel like you want me to suck up to her? Shenanji looked serious. If you don't want to suffer in the crew later, you'd better listen to me now. Tian retorted, although she's the female lead and I'm the third female role, we're both women. Shouldn't we be equals? An angry Shenanji hit Tian on the head. You talk too much. The director nearby noticed the pitiful-looking Tian. He came over friendly and greeted, are you Zhou Jintian? You look very promising. Shenanji whispered, that's the director. Tian shyly touched her hair and said, director, you're too kind. The director smiled and said, go take a seat over there. Song Zaishu, who was watching the situation, called out, Tian, sit here. Tian went over and sat down, introducing herself to you, Anna, with a smile. Hello, I'm Zhou Jintian. Please take care of me in the future. Yuana also smiled. Don't be so polite, Tian. You're new. When you join tomorrow, feel free to ask me anything you don't understand. After several drinks, the director joked, little Tian can really eat. Don't bankrupt my crew in the future. Song Zaishu ordered more dishes for Tian and advised, drink less. Little drinker Yu Anna noticed this with an unpleasant expression. He ignores me, but is so enthusiastic about this new third female lead. Let's see what she's capable of. Yu Anna stood up and suggested, since we start shooting tomorrow, why don't we use this time to rehearse the first scene? Song Zaishu looked at Tian. How about it, Tian? Want to learn about filming in advance? Shenanji laughed it off. She hasn't even memorized her lines yet. I'd better take her back to study the script first. We won't disturb your rehearsal. Before Tian could say anything more, Shenanji dragged her away from the scene again. In the car, Tian defended herself. I already memorized all the lines last night. Shenanji frowned. Even if you memorized the script, did you understand the character relationships and emotions? Speechless Tian asked again, where are we going now? Shenanji replied, to interview an assistant for you, to share my suffering. Tian was surprised. I don't even have any works yet, and I'm getting an assistant? Shenanji gritted his teeth. You think I don't want to save this money? But if this continues, you'll give me a brain hemorrhage sooner or later. After interviewing several candidates, Shinonji asked Tian, which one do you like? Tian chose the third one, the gentle-looking girl with thick glasses. Shinonji checked her resume. She only graduated 2 months ago. Why choose her? Didn't you see how her eyes sparkled when she looked at me? I bet she likes me. Shinonji compromised. Fine, let's go with her. He thought it might be good. The girl seemed naive and harmless. If Zhou Jintian did anything wrong, she'd probably be scared enough to tell him immediately. Tian greeted Xiaoyu. Hello, Xiaoyu. I'm Zhou Jintian. From today on, you're my assistant. At the film set, Tian was stunned by the fans outside. Xiaoyu, thinking Tian was envious, comforted her. Sister Ting, you're so beautiful. You'll definitely have this many fans in the future. Just as Tian was about to get out, Shinonji put a baseball cap on her. Cover up properly. Your identity hasn't been officially revealed yet. Tian suddenly pointed and shouted, Look, Song Zaishu is over there. The group of crazy female fans instantly ran in that direction at an astonishing speed. In the break room, Song Zaishu came in with breakfast. I bought breakfast for everyone. Help yourselves. Grateful voices immediately responded. Song Zaishu specifically gave a portion to Tian. Try these crab roe buns, they're delicious. Tian smiled and accepted. Then I won't be polite. Others around noticed this and spoke unfavorably. Who's that girl? Why is Song Zaishu buying her breakfast separately? Another answered, I think her name is Zhou Jintian. She's the third female lead and apparently knows Song Zaishu from before. Tian, at the center of gossip, was oblivious and just kept praising. These buns are really delicious. Song Zaishu offered a cup of water. Eat slowly. Have some water. Tian declined. I shouldn't use your cup. My assistant went to buy water. Song Zaishu explained. This cup was bought for you. Don't ask about the price. With our relationship, talking about money would hurt our friendship. Tian had no choice but to accept. The gossiping women were shocked. What kind of relationship do they have? Xiaoyu was writing something in the corner by herself. Tian curiously asked, Xiaoyu, what are you writing? Xiaoyu quickly closed her notebook in fright. Sister Tian, they don't sell hot drinks here. Should I get you some hot water? I'll go now. In the makeup room, Shinonji reminded again, keep your distance from Song Zaishu, especially on set. Understand? Tian nodded obediently, indicating she understood. Xiaoyu explained the upcoming scene to Tian. Shinonji, in mother hen mode, advised, don't be nervous about your first time in front of the camera. I've already talked to the director. Don't be afraid, even if you need multiple takes. Tian was helpless. I'm really not nervous. You're even more nagging than my mom. Tian walked out of the makeup room in her new clothes. The director gave a thumbs up. Little Tian, with my years of filming experience, I can tell you're very promising. Anna, who had just finished makeup, came out too. Awkwardly, she was wearing the same outfit as Tian. This made her angry. Why are you wearing the same clothes as me? What is the costume department doing? Go change immediately. She pointed at Xiaoyu behind Tian. Aren't you her assistant? Shouldn't you coordinate with my staff about the clothes? You're so clumsy. Xiaoyu behind Tian lowered her head but looked indignant. She doesn't even look as good as Sister Tian in that dress. Tian stepped in front of Xiaoyu protectively. Why should I change? Don't you think this dress color suits me better? What did you say? Anna's expression became incredulous. Tian smiled and repeated, I said I look prettier in this dress than you do. Anna trembled with anger. Where's the costume designer? Call them out. Just then, someone with a megaphone asked, What's happening? Tian turned around. Forget it, I'll change. If this continues, not only will the costume designer be fired, but Shinonji will definitely scold me too. When Tian came out again, she was wearing a sweet and spicy style outfit. It was absolutely eye-catching. Xiaoyu turned into a fangirl. Sister Tian, this outfit is even more stunning than before. You look exactly like an arrogant, precious young lady. Anna's expression became even worse seeing this. When the director signaled to start filming, Tian's expression instantly became aggressive. Why did she bring you medicine? What's your relationship? Anna, playing the female lead, looked scared. We're just normal colleagues. She brought medicine because I had a cold. I don't want to hear it. Tian splashed the water from her cup onto Anna. The moment the water touched Anna, she screamed. The director angrily called cut. What happened? Anna looked distraught. It's boiling water. She threw boiling water. The director immediately became furious. Props department, what's going on? The props team claimed Miss Zhou insisted on getting the water herself. Xiaoyu immediately protested loudly. angrily. You're lying. I've been with Sister Tiantian the whole time. She never even saw you. But the props team insisted. I'm not lying. Miss Zhou really wanted to get it herself. Anna then spoke up with a pitiful expression. Tiantian, did you change the water to boiling because you were upset about us wearing the same clothes? If you were that unhappy, I could have changed. The director spoke up. I won't tolerate anyone causing trouble on set. If you can't give a reasonable explanation, you'll need to pay the breach of contract fee and leave. Before Shinanji could speak, Tiantian stepped forward. Sister Anna, how could you think that? If I were such a vicious person, I would have replaced the warm water with acid. But Sister Anna, those ice cubes in your hand came quite timely. Tiantian smiled while touching her chin. Anna angrily put her hands on her hips. What? You want me to actually get disfigured? Tiantian wagged her finger. This morning I wanted cold water, but the staff told my assistant that the refrigerator here was broken. Sister Anna, how did you get those ice cubes so timely? Did you buy them in advance? Before Anna could respond, the director interrupted. Anna, take a break for now. The director massaged his temples in frustration and called Zai Shu to film an individual scene. Unable to say anything more, Anna left sheepishly. In the break room, Tiantian couldn't help complaining. Brother Anji, you don't know how awful Anna really is. Shinanji explained that the director was used to such petty drama, but since Anna was the female lead, they had to give her some face. Not feeling comforted, Tiantian made a video call to Ji Zheng. Uncle Ji, am I pitiful? The director knows the truth but won't help me. Ji Zheng asked domineeringly. Want me to get revenge for you? Tiantian brightened up. How? Ji Zheng replied. We could spend money to buy her dirt or directly remove her backing. Tiantian said to forget it. She's the female lead. If she's done, the crew is done. And if the crew is done, I'm done too. Zhou Jintian. What are you afraid of? Don't you know your sponsor is richer? Even if you want to film 100 movies, I have enough money, Ji Zheng said helplessly. Just then, a voice came from outside. Ting, get ready to reshoot the first scene. Tiantian immediately put down her phone, saying she'd be right there. Looking at the ended call, Ji Zheng sighed. Never thought I'd see the day when someone would come at my call and leave at their will. After countless cuts, the director couldn't help but approach and ask, what's wrong with Anna this time? Anna replied, Director, I'm still not satisfied with this scene's performance, especially in the scenes with Zhou Jintian. I feel the atmosphere isn't engaging enough for the audience. She added sarcastically, though I understand Tiantian is new and lacks acting skills since she's in this industry. She should work harder to learn. Tiantian got angry immediately, but was quickly held back by the quick acting Xiaoyu. Song Zai Shu came to mediate. Why don't we film my scenes with Anna first? I'll help coach Tiantian in private. The director agreed. On the way back, Xiaoyu complained indignantly. Sister Tian, who does Anna think she is? She's always criticizing you. Shinanji spoke up. She's not wrong. Xiaoyu was more confused. Brother Anji, why are you defending her? Without explaining, Shinanji turned to Tiantian. Come back to the company with me first to sign the contract, then take some promotional photos. Tiantian was confused about the filming, but Shinanji said they were done for today. I know an excellent acting teacher. Let's visit him tonight. At the crew entrance, Anna's fans noticed Tiantian's car. That's the scene stealer who took our goddess's morning scenes. Shinanji told the driver not to stop and floor it. After signing the contract, Tiantian changed clothes and started taking promotional photos. The photographer couldn't help praising Tiantian's looks, saying she was blessed by heaven. Shinanji instructed that these photos would be released when the crew announces the third female lead's identity. Together, finally finished with the shoot, Tiantian asked eagerly, where are we eating? I've been hungry all day. Shinanji asked back, let me ask you, what's more important now, finding a teacher to learn or eating? Tiantian's expression turned serious, saying learning was more important. Following Shinanji, Tiantian curiously asked if this teacher was famous. Shinanji explained that he had some connections with him, and it took a long time to arrange this dinner meeting. He's a veteran actor who left the industry years ago. Though not very famous, the 3 movies he starred in won awards at international film festivals. His fans are mostly seasoned movie enthusiasts. Shinanji put his hand on the doorknob and reminded her again. His name is Zhong Jia. Remember to respectfully call him teacher when we get there. Tiantian nodded in understanding. Upon entering, Tiantian bowed respectfully and sweetly said, hello, teacher Zhong. Holding a coffee cup, Zhong Jia turned around. We're not in an official relationship, Miss Zhou. Please take back that form of address. Shin Anji stepped forward to negotiate again. Please reconsider my previous request. Tian is like uncut jade. She needs your guidance to become better. Behind him, Tian silently complained. You told me to call him Teacher Zhong. Why am I getting blamed? Zhong Jia showed no signs of yielding. There are many jade carvers in this world. If Miss Zhou is truly uncut jade, she'll naturally be discovered. Tian picked up a glass of wine. It's fine. Meeting you is already my honor. She then drank the wine in one go. This finally sparked Zhong Jia's interest. Miss Zhou, you're new to this field. What made you enter the entertainment industry? Tian replied modestly. It was just a coincidence. But since I'm in this industry now, I need to develop my acting skills. Please consider teaching me. As far as I know, popular actors without acting skills do just fine. Miss Zhou, your looks are no worse than those top stars. Why suffer here? Tian looked straight into his eyes. If you're an actor, you must have acting skills. There's no why about it. This doesn't need proving. Zhong Jia finally looked at Tian properly. This girl was exactly like himself when he was young. Zhong Jia finally smiled. Little Zhong really didn't misjudge. Tian froze, her face suddenly turning red. How did Ji Zheng get involved? She'd have to ask him later. After finishing, Zhong Jia called, I'll take the girl. Think about how you'll repay this favor. The other end simply said thank you. When I first saw her, I thought you were just captivated by her looks. Now I think about it, this girl really has the right mindset, Zhong Jia teased. Hearing Tian being praised, Ji Zheng's lips curved into a slight smile. She's indeed good, he said. All right, since you and her manager both want me to teach her, prepare yourselves for some heartache. Ji Zheng pleaded, please make it less painful. After dropping Tian off at Star River Bay, Shinanji instructed, I'll pick you up tomorrow morning for class, then back to filming in the afternoon. Tian waved goodbye, saying she understood. Just as she entered home, Tian received a video call from Ji Zheng. She answered, why are you video calling me first? On the other end, Ji Zheng rested his chin on his folded hands. Didn't I set your curfew at 8? Ah, so you're checking up on me. Look, I'm home. Tian turned the camera around. Sitting on the sofa, Tian asked her most curious question. Tell me, what's your relationship with Zhong Jia? Ji Zheng explained, it's through my grandfather. Asia Zhe once sponsored his film. Tian frowned. Then why did he say you didn't misjudge me? Ji Zheng explained that he had approached him earlier to teach her acting, not wanting her to embarrass herself. Tian leaned back on the sofa, being narcissistic. What embarrassment? Today the photographer praised me for being both well-behaved and beautiful. By the way, Uncle Ji, when are you coming back? Ji Zheng teased. Missing me? Tian's eyes lit up instantly. If you come back, Teacher Zhong definitely won't be harsh with me. Ji Zheng laughed. You're quite good at finding backing. The next day, after dropping Tian off, Shinanji arranged, today, let Teacher Zhong focus on coaching you for this afternoon's scenes. Tian obediently nodded, indicating she understood. Shinanji put his hand on Tian's head, threatening, I'll wait right outside. If Teacher Zhong comes out to complain about you, you're dead. Knocking and entering the room, Tian enthusiastically greeted. Teacher Zhong, I'm here. Zhong Jia put down his tea. I'll first teach you how to interpret the character's emotions. Then you perform it for me. Zhong Jia glanced at Tian's script. I can tell you didn't like taking notes in school. Show me your performance. If you truly have talent, don't film these sweet romance dramas. I'll introduce you to some capable film directors. Tian worried internally. Oh no, I thought Brother Shin's script was too flashy, so I got a new one. Didn't expect to be criticized right away. Tian still obediently stepped forward to perform. Seeing Tian's performance, Zhong Jia frowned. Some of your expressions are decent, but most of the time, you're as empty as a tree hollow. In your line delivery, can you even speak properly? Are you mute? I'm asking if you can speak properly. If an actor can't even deliver lines clearly, you might as well go home and rest. Tian, receiving such harsh criticism for the first time, was somewhat confused and hesitant. Seeing this, Zhong Jia sighed. Why are you stammering? Speaking, Zhong Jia began to perform, his superb acting bringing the character to life. Tian was completely convinced by Zhong Jia's acting. Teacher Zhong is amazing. Zhong Jia instructed, go home and read an actor's self-cultivation. You must finish 2 chapters tonight. I'll quiz you tomorrow. Tian immediately said she understood. Zhong Jia's expression turned stern again. Speak up. Haven't you eaten? Write a 5,000-word study reflection at home. You'll write one every day from now on. Remember that and get out. Tian immediately responded loudly, yes. On the way back, Shinonji asked, how was the morning lesson? Tian, who was eating, burst into tears. Shinonji grew more curious. What happened? Did he hit you? He continued, Teacher Zhong may be strict, but his acting skills are top-notch. You'll learn a lot from him. Tian looked aggrieved. Teacher Zhong gave me homework. Not only do I have to read 2 chapters, but I also need to write a 5,000-word study reflection every day. Shinonji laughed. That is quite strict. Let Xiaoyu help you with the reflection, but you must read the book yourself. Now it was Xiaoyu's turn to cry. Why am I always the one getting hurt? After filming again, the director couldn't help praising. Did Song give you private lessons? Today's shooting was really good. Keep it up tomorrow. Song Zaishu joined in. It's Tian's natural talent, self-taught. This praise made Tian embarrassed. Then the director said, by the way, there's some trouble with the second female lead. We've decided to announce the third female lead first to divert attention. During lunch, Song Zaishu also praised. Your performance today showed great improvement. Tian revealed the truth. Let me tell you, actually, Song Zaishu exclaimed in shock. What? So your current acting teacher is Zhong Jia? Song Zaishu was stunned. Many young stars in the industry wanted to learn from this veteran actor. Just having the title of Zhong Jia's student would add a filter to future auditions with directors. But most people could hardly meet Zhong Jia, let alone receive his guidance. Tian couldn't help complaining. Yes, but Teacher Zhong is super strict. Looking at Tian, Song Zaishu couldn't help but smile. I heard this restaurant's sour fish soup is very good. The cook has been cooking for over 30 years. Try it. After the directing team announced Tian's role, Xiaoyu excitedly said, Sister Tian, look, netizens are praising your beauty. Your looks are trending. Suddenly, the comment section took a turn, with numerous marketing accounts and anti-fans appearing, many being Song Zaishu's female fans. As marketing accounts spread rumors, Song Zaishu's fans went berserk. My brother Zaishu rejects scene stealers. Stop riding coattails. Is she trying to get famous through scandal? Used to think she looked okay in photos, but with such terrible character, she shouldn't be in entertainment. Shinonji comforted her. Don't look at your phone tonight. Xiaoyu will stay with you. We'll hold a press conference first thing tomorrow morning. Tian remained unbothered. These are just keyboard warriors who can type with their hands. If I fought back one by one, my hands would be worn out before New Year's. Just then, Tian received a message from her best friend. She eagerly opened her phone, thinking, coming to comfort me now, truly my best friend. This new celebrity looks like you, but she has terrible character. Tian opened the chat to see these 2 messages from Duan Qingwu. Tian got angry and sent a voice message. Duan Qingwu, thanks a lot. That's actually me. The scolded Duan Qingwu quickly comforted her. Don't worry, sister will hire trolls to fight back. Scrolling through her phone, Tian felt dejected. Among all these comforting messages, why isn't there one from Ji Zheng? At this moment, Chu Cheng, still in the hospital, received the news and angrily called Shinonji. He cursed, Shinonji, is this how you take care of her after I entrusted her to you? Shinonji felt guilty and laughed nervously. This will be resolved tomorrow morning. Just focus on recovery. Recover what? I might as well die from anger. Don't mess up tomorrow's press conference live stream. His voice was so loud that Shinonji had to hold the phone away. The next day in Ye's group CEO office, an assistant brought a tablet. President Ji, Madam's live stream has started. Ji Zheng took the tablet. Ji Zheng called the leaving assistant. Wait, how do I send GIFs in this live stream? The assistant pointed at an icon. President Ji, just click this gift icon to send. Ji Zheng handed the tablet back. You do it. When Madam appears, start sending the most expensive gifts until the stream ends. The assistant obediently began sending rockets continuously in the live stream. Soon, Ji Zheng's account became the top donor. Meanwhile, the press conference officially began, with viewers who knew Tian flooding the comments. The host asked, Tian, being so beautiful, you must have had many pursuers in school? Tian replied, no, I focused on studying. Can you share your previous relationship status with everyone? Tian instinctively looked at her manager. Seeing her manager's expression suggesting one wrong word could end her career, Tian quickly said, I'm single and have no plans to date. I want to focus all my energy on my acting career. The comments became mixed. The host asked again, can you tell us your initial motivation for becoming an actress? I love performing. Like many ordinary people, I have no money or power, but I have a heart that never gives up, just like with my studies. I've always believed where there's a will, there's a way, Tian said seriously. Though internally, she couldn't believe these words had come out of her own mouth. At this time, the host asked about the main topic of this press conference. Yesterday, there were rumors online about your special relationship with Song Zaishu. Can you explain? Just then, Song Zaishu also joined the live stream. Tian responded gracefully. Teacher Song and I are just normal friends. He's always treated me like a sister. As for that cup, it was purely coincidental. Then, Song Zaishu posted a comment. What Tian said is correct. Please be kind and supportive to her like I am. Ji Zheng, who had been watching the press conference, darkened his face and immediately told the assistant to stop sending gifts. The innocent assistant broke into a cold sweat, thinking, President Ji is so moody lately. He was fine just now, why is he suddenly angry? After finally answering various questions, Tian took a sip of water. The host spoke again. Now it's time to interact with the tens of thousands of viewers in the live stream. Tian noticed the top donor in the live stream and mentally calculated it must have cost about 500,000 yuan. Tian's eyes lit up. Thank you to our top donor. Let's give him some attention. The audience was confused. Is this the same person as before? Why do I feel your words aren't elegant at all? Please be more careful with your words. Tian started to let loose. I may not speak beautifully, but a beautiful person is speaking. Sharp-eyed Tian spotted another comment. I think you have the talent to annoy people to death. Tian cheerfully responded, Really? Maybe it's because I practiced Qigong as a child. Shenanji immediately ended the live stream. Any longer, and her image would completely collapse. Shenanji was fuming with anger. That day, Tian came to Teacher Zhong's place for class. Teacher Zhong, I've written my reflection. Tian handed over the reflection written by Xiaoyu. Teacher Zhong opened it and asked, What role did Author Lavsky play in the first chapter's performance test? Tian broke into a sweat, trying hard to remember. Finally, Tian remembered it was Othello. Teacher Zhong became more angry. So you do know it's Othello? Tian was confused, wondering if giving the right answer was somehow wrong. Teacher Zhong showed Tian the reflection. Look at what's written here. Tian looked closely and saw it was written as Taro. Tian was speechless and complained. Xiaoyu, how many Ultraman episodes have you watched? Why can't you use your cleverness properly? Having someone else write 5,000 words for you? In the live stream, you said you'd work hard. Is this how you work hard? Teacher Zhong was furious. However, Tian focused on something else. Teacher Zhong, you watch my live stream too? Teacher Zhong didn't want to say more. Don't attend today's class. Tomorrow, submit a 10,000-word reflection to me. If you don't, I won't teach you anymore. That evening, Tian returned to Xingabei and started acting cute with Ji Zheng. Ji Zheng asked, What do you want from me this time? Tian was shocked. What do you mean? What kind of person do you think I am? Ji Zheng looked at Tian hugging him. It's no fun if you deny it. Tian sheepishly spoke. Ji Zheng, aren't you close with Teacher Zhong? Could you please ask him not to make me write 10,000 words of reflection? Ji Zheng raised an eyebrow. Got punished with writing self-criticism again? Tian quickly shook her head to correct him. It's a reflection, not self-criticism. If you don't want to write it, then don't. Hearing this, Tian's eyes lit up with joy. Overjoyed, Tian leaned down and kissed Ji Zheng on the cheek. Ji Zheng felt the soft touch. He was slightly stunned. Coming back to his senses, Ji Zheng turned his head and called out Zhou Jintian. Ji Zheng pointed to his lips. Next time, kiss here. Embarrassed and annoyed, Tian hit Ji Zheng's face with a pillow. You pervert. Then she quickly fled the scene with a red face, running back to her room. Back in her room, Tian felt extremely frustrated. Why did I suddenly kiss him? This is just a mutually beneficial contract marriage. At this thought, her eyes softened a bit. Just then, Ji Zheng's phone rang. Ji Zheng picked up his phone and saw it was his elder brother calling. After answering, he heard, Father isn't feeling well abroad. I plan to take Bai Yin to see him. Since you're busy here, you don't need to come. Bai Yin was just dropped off by his mother. Could you and Xiao Tian watch him for a few days? Ji Zheng immediately felt a headache. Dealing with Zhou Jintian alone was enough trouble, and now another one. The house would be chaos. His brother didn't give him a chance to refuse. It's settled then. I'll have Bai Yin bring the child over soon. I'll keep your marriage secret from father. You two can tell him yourselves later. Jizheng irritably ran his fingers through his hair and said he understood. After the call, Jizheng went to Tiantian's door. I'm moving back to the master bedroom. Lying on the bed, Tianan couldn't believe it. After Jizheng's detailed explanation, Tian curiously asked, "So who is Ji Bainan?" Ji Zheng explained, "He's Ji Baiyan's brother, your little nephew. After my brother and sister-in-law divorced, that little rascal has been living abroad. He lives with his mother and only visits the Ji family once a year." Tian continued asking, "Why do you have to move back to the master bedroom?" Ji Zheng's gaze fell on a certain spot. "Stop pretending you don't understand." Looking at the snack wrappers and instant noodle boxes in the room, and the pile of clothes, Ji Zheng got angry. "I'm giving you 10 minutes to clean up this room." Tian obediently picked up the pile of clothes, turned around, and tossed them into the wardrobe. After closing the wardrobe door, Tian turned to Ji Zheng, indicating she was done cleaning. Ji Zheng was speechless. Hiding things isn't cleaning. Tian sat on the bed, taking an apple. "I'm too tired. Don't make me do housework. We could just spend some money tomorrow to hire someone to clean. We're rich now. No need to save on this." That sentence left Ji Zheng speechless again. Just when Tian thought Ji Zheng would get angry, Ji Zheng took out the pile of clothes again and started folding them carefully one by one. Tian immediately put her hands on her hips and protested, "Uncle Ji, you can't fold these clothes like that. They need to be hung up, you know?" Ji Zheng gave Tian a sideways glance. "Why don't you do it then?" Tian quickly said, "Actually, folding them is fine too." Just then, the doorbell rang. Tian immediately said, "I think I heard the doorbell. I'll go downstairs to open it." Opening the door, Tian greeted warmly, "Hi, dear little nephews." Ji Bainan looked at Tian and frowned in fear. He turned and grabbed Ji Baiyan's hand. "Brother, I don't want him to take care of me." Ji Baiyan crouched down to comfort his brother Bainan. "Although he looks a bit silly, but look at that face. Just bear with it for a few days." Hearing this, Ji Bainan compromised. "Okay, brother, but you must come pick me up soon. I'm afraid of getting infected." Ji Baiyan nodded in agreement, then leaned close to Ji Bainan, whispering, "And don't forget the task I assigned you." Tian, entering the door, asked Ji Bainan behind her, "Would you like some juice?" Ji Bainan immediately nodded yes. While Tian wasn't looking, Ji Bainan began observing his surroundings. "Brother told me to observe uncle and auntie's daily interactions. I need to report if I find anything suspicious. I must watch carefully." Meanwhile, Tian had already noticed Ji Bainan's sneaky behavior and was confused by it. Tian, holding the last glass of juice, called out to Ji Bainan, "The juice is ready." Hearing this, Ji Bainan happily ran over. However, Tian drank the entire glass of juice right in front of him, and even let out a comfortable burp. This was like a bolt from the blue for Ji Bainan. His young heart was deeply hurt. Then Ji Bainan's crying echoed throughout the neighborhood. "Uncle is bullying me." Ji Zheng looked at the two of them with a massive headache. Tian spoke first. "Ji Zheng, you can't take his side just because he's your nephew. If you help him, I'll never talk to you again." Hearing this, Ji Zheng smiled and patted Tian's head. "Why are you getting so worked up?" Seeing this, Ji Bainan spoke up defiantly. "Uncle, whose side are you on? I'm your real nephew." Ji Zheng stood in front of Ji Bainan. "Be good, apologize to your aunt." Ji Bainan burst into tears. "I want to go home. I want to go home. I don't want Uncle and Annie anymore." Seeing this, Tian's heart softened. "Maybe I should comfort him. Don't be angry. There's a good movie showing recently. I'll take you to see it, okay? I'll buy you chocolate and toys later. Whatever you want, I'll buy it for you." Hearing this, Ji Bainan turned his head and asked, "Really?" Tian sweetly replied, "Of course it's true. You watch the movie, and I'll see just how thick your face is." Ji Zheng finally came to mediate. "Zhou Jintian, do you really enjoy bullying children?" Then he said to Ji Bainan, "Stop crying. Go wash your face in the bathroom. I'll take you out to eat." Tian protested. "You just want to help that little brat. You don't want to help me at all." Ji Zheng promised, "I'll always help you, no matter who you're up against." "Really? What if I fight with your son? Would you still help me?" Tian continued asking. Ji Zheng silently looked at Tian. The atmosphere suddenly became tense. Then Tian realized something. "Wouldn't Ji Zheng's son be my son too? Wait, why would Ji Zheng's son be my son? Why would I help Ji Zheng have a son?" Ji Zheng, seeing Tiantian's gradually reddening face, smiled and said, "If you're so curious, let's have one and see who I'll help. Though rather than a son, I'd prefer Tiantian to give me a daughter." Tiantian yelled embarrassedly, "Shameless! Who said I'd have children with you? How can you be so shameless?" Changing the subject, she said, "I'm going to wash my face," and quickly fled the scene. Ji Zhen, acting as the driver, asked the two behind him, "What do you want to eat?" Ji Bainan immediately stuck his head out excitedly. "Uncle, I want hamburgers." Tian immediately waved her hand in refusal. "No, I don't want hamburgers." Ji Bainan's expression instantly turned pitiful. As soon as Tian disagreed, he was ready to cry. Seeing this, Tian waved her hand. Fine, hamburgers it is." Ji Bainan's expression immediately brightened. "Annie is so nice." Tian looked at Ji Bainan, who was reading beside her, and asked, "Why are you studying so hard now? If you were at home and spent all that crying time doing homework, you'd be a genius by now. If I have a child in the future, I'll let them grow up happily, without having—" Ji Bainan retorted, "You're lying. Teachers will assign homework. It's impossible not to study anything." Tian immediately insisted, "Who's lying? Worst case, I'll help with the homework." Ji Bainan's eyes lit up instantly. "Then Annie, can you help me with mine?" Ji Zhen, while driving, teased, "Your Annie won't even do her own homework." Tian defiantly replied, "I'll help him write it today. These math problems, I can finish them in minutes." Ji Bainan leaned forward and asked, "Uncle Ji Zhen, will you let your own children skip homework in the future?" Ji Zhen glanced at the rearview mirror. "I'll listen to whatever your Annie says." Ji Bainan handed his homework to Tian. "Well then, I'll reluctantly let you help me with my homework." After arriving at McDonald's, Ji Zhen looked at the menu and ordered 2 kids' meals. Ji Bainan whispered to Tian, "Andy, for our mutual benefit, let's pretend to get along from now on." Tian immediately refused. "Who wants to pretend to get along with you?" Ji Bainan said, "But if we keep fighting, Uncle will kick us both out." Tian confidently ate her ice cream. "He'll only kick you out. I'm his wife. He won't kick me out." Ji Zhen, bringing the meals over, looked at Tian. "If you don't behave, you'll have to write a self-criticism." Tian immediately passed her fries over. Nan, eat more." Ji Bainan cooperatively took a fry and fed it to Tian. "Tian, you eat more too." Then Ji Zhen looked at Ji Bainan. "Ji Bainan, tomorrow will you follow me to the company or go with your Annie?" Ji Bainan immediately said he wanted to go with Tian, thinking the company would be boring and his unreliable Annie would be more fun. Then Tian looked at Ji Bainan. "Why do you call me Tian? Actually, you should call me sister-in-law." Ji Bainan was confused and asked curiously, "Why?" Just as Tian was about to explain, Ji Zhen coughed, and she quickly said she was just kidding. "Let's finish eating and go home. We need to wake up early tomorrow." At night, Tian prepared the guest room bed for Ji Bainan. "All right, time to sleep." Ji Bainan yawned and said, "I really can't understand why my uncle married you." Tian angrily replied, "What are you talking about? Make the bed yourself if you're so capable." Ji Bainan, crawling under the covers, waved at Tian. "Okay, Tan, you can go now. Remember to wake me up tomorrow morning." Tian, who had just finished showering, heard her phone ring. She was puzzled about who would call at this hour. Without checking who was calling, Tian answered directly. "What is it?" The voice on the other end said, "Come for class at 8 tomorrow and bring your 10,000-word study reflection." Tian immediately widened her eyes. "Why do I still need to submit a reflection? Why haven't you resolved this yet?" The voice on the other end said harshly, "Don't tell me you haven't written it yet. If you haven't, add another 5,000 words as punishment for not taking my words seriously." Tian quickly responded, "I wrote it. Of course I finished it. I'll definitely submit it to you tomorrow." The teacher coldly snorted, "That's better." After hanging up, Tian thought, "This won't do. I need to ask Ji Zhen for help." After thinking it over, Tian felt it would be too abrupt to suddenly ask for help late at night. Then Tian thought, "If I bring a cup of hot milk, wouldn't that make me appear more gentle and virtuous?" When Tian went to the kitchen for milk, she found Ji Bainan there too. Ji Bainan, who was pouring milk in the kitchen, suddenly heard Tian shout, "Ji Bainan, you're here sneaking food by yourself." Tian picked up a cup nearby and asked, "Why didn't you call me to heat it for you?" Ji Bainan poured milk into Tian's cup and said, "Never mind, you can't even make a bed properly. I'm afraid you'll break Uncle's cups." Tian didn't argue back, just instructed, "Then finish your drink here and go upstairs to sleep. I'll take a cup to your uncle." Uncle never drinks milk, but Tian, already heading upstairs, didn't hear. Standing at the study door, Tian knocked. Uncle Ji, are you asleep? Ji Zhen's voice came from inside. Come in. Ji Zhen, who was handling work, saw Tian enter with a cup of milk. Ji Zhen was slightly surprised. He looked up at Tian. Why aren't you asleep yet? Tian didn't speak, just placed the milk on the desk. Ji Zhen pulled her over, making her sit on his lap. He patiently asked, what's wrong? Tian held on to Ji Zhen. Teacher Zhong just called me. Ji Zhen responded with Tian's expression turned pitiful. What do you mean, Didn't you say I didn't have to write it? Uncle Ji wouldn't go back on his word, would he? Ji Zhen looked down at Tian and said, I'll take you there tomorrow morning. I'll talk to him. Tian hesitated, but I just told Teacher Zhong that I've already written all 10,000 words. Ji Zhen sighed and said, then we'll say you accidentally lost it. Having achieved her goal, Tian happily kissed Ji Zhen. Uncle Ji, you're so good to me. Then she ran off without lingering. I'm going to bed now. Ji Zhen looked down at the milk in his hand and smiled helplessly. The next morning, Ji Zhen was making breakfast in the kitchen. Ji Bainan, just woken up, yawned and asked, where's Annie? Ji Zhen didn't turn around, just sat still sleeping. Go wake her up. He thought about having a company meeting this morning, but he needed to take her to Zhong's place first, otherwise the little girl would throw a tantrum. In the bedroom, Tian was still dreaming when Ji Bainan pounced on her. Tian angrily shouted, Ji Bainan, are you trying to crush me? Ji Bainan laughed happily. Crush this lazy Tian. Angry Tian grabbed a pillow and started fighting with Ji Bainan. Ji Zhen heard the commotion upstairs and couldn't help but smile, wondering if the house would be this lively every day if he and she had a child in the future. In the car, Tian looked anxiously at Ji Zhen. Uncle Ji, Teacher Zhong really won't punish me? Ji Bainan leaned forward from the back seat. Why do you also call him uncle? Uncle Ji Zhen answered for her. Your aunt is the same age as you. Xiao Yu, who had been waiting at the door for a while, looked at Ji Zhen and froze. Sister on this. Tian threatened, it's nothing. Don't write these two people in your notebook to show Shenanji. Got it? Otherwise, I'll deal with you within 3 days. Ji Bainan spoke up. Tian, didn't you say you'd help me with my homework yesterday? Tian asked back, where's your uncle? Ji Bainan replied, uncle has already gone inside. Tian put Ji Bainan in the car and instructed Xiao Yu, watch him carefully. I'll go check inside. Inside the room, Zhong Jia joked, what wind blew you to my place? Ji Zhen explained, well, my little girl owes you a 10,000-word reflection, so I came. Zhong Jia guessed. From what you're saying, she hasn't written it again. Outside the door, Tian silently prayed, Uncle Ji, please do your best. Ji Zhen said calmly without blushing, it's my fault for tiring her out last night. Hearing this, Zhong Jia sighed helplessly. All right, don't say such things in front of an old person like me. I don't care for these things. It's just that this girl is clearly clever, but she doesn't take things seriously. She only acts when she's under pressure. She really says one thing and does another. In front of you, her words are as sweet as honey, making you happy. But in the end, her actions make you furious. Thinking of last night's situation, Ji Zhen deeply agreed. When the two came out, they saw Tian crouching at the door. Zhong Jia crossed his arms and called out, Zhou Jin Tian, study hard. Tian immediately stood up and saluted. I promise to listen to Teacher Zhong's words. Zhong Jia bluntly said, come on, you two. I can tell at a glance that Xiao Zhang isn't the one in charge at home. Xiao Yu, looking at her phone, said, Sister Tian, you gained quite a few fans after yesterday's live stream. Tian proudly acknowledged, I saw that. Not deep, not gossipy, we're just Zhou Jintian's superficial beauty fans. Their words left the anti-fans with nowhere to go. Ji Bainan, following Tian in the dressing room, curiously looked around. Then Shenanji pushed open the door and entered. Seeing Ji Bainan, he curiously asked, where did this child come from? Xiao Yu answered, Sister Galan brought him. Shenanji immediately exploded. Don't tell me this is your son? Tian replied, how could that be possible? He's my... The attention-seeking Ji Bainan hugged Tian's leg and pitifully called out, Mama, don't you want to acknowledge Nan anymore? Seeing this scene, Shenanji immediately became furious. Tian immediately explained loudly, help, he's really just my nephew. At this moment, Song Zaishu also came in from outside. Tian hid behind Song Zaishu, angrily saying, you ungrateful brat, I kindly brought you out today, and you're trying to frame me. Ji Bainan retorted, who told you not to help me with my math homework today? Then Song Zaishu called Ji Bainan, crouched in front of him, and offered a candy. Here's a candy for you. Which problems don't you understand? I'll teach you, okay? Ji Bainan immediately changed his attitude when he saw the candy. Song Zaishu sat beside Ji Bainan and started tutoring. Look, for this problem, you should use this method first. Just then, the director came to knock on the door. Xiao Tian Zaishu, we're about to film your scenes. Get ready. Song Zaishu waved. First do the ones you know. I'll teach you the rest when I come back. Tian warned, you better behave here, or I'll tell your uncle about your behavior when we get home tonight. Ji Bainan grabbed Tian's clothes. Tian, haven't you noticed that guy likes you? He was deliberately trying to get on my good side. Tian replied helplessly, you little brat, why are you so precocious? Ji Bainan calmly threatened, if you don't buy me ice cream today, I'll tell uncle too. Tian remained unfazed. Let me hear what you can tell on me. Ji Bainan pointed at Song Zaishu at the door. I'll tell uncle you're playing with other guys in the crew and let him break your legs. Tian rolled up her sleeves angrily and shouted, Ji Bainan, you're done for today. Just then, Xiaoyu quickly stood in front of Ji Bainan. Sister Tian, don't bully the kid. Tian felt wronged. He bullied me first. Indeed, only Ji Jun would unconditionally take my side. Everyone else protects the kid first. This scene was a confrontation between Tian and Song Zaishu in the rain. Large raindrops kept falling on both of them. So you've never liked me at all? Tian quickly got into character, looking hurt. Across from her, Song Zaishu's eyes held a hint of tenderness. I'm sorry, but love can't be forced. The director suddenly called cut. Song Zaishu, your eyes can't be that gentle. In this play, you've never liked her. You need to show a real attitude of rejection. Song Zaishu nodded. Understood, okay. Let's do this scene again. Tian quickly got back into character. Then why were you so nice to me? Why did you take care of me when I was sick? Why did you give me so many signals that you liked me, then reject me so decisively? Tian accused, almost breaking down. You were the only one who was moved from beginning to end. Song Zaishu rejected cleanly. Tian, as if taking a huge blow, fell to her knees. Just me alone. So I'm the only one who lost. The director called cut at the right moment, indicating this take was good. After finishing, Tian received praise from the director again. Xiao Tian has improved a lot recently. Keep it up. In a few days, the crew has a promotional variety show. Let's have Xiao Tian join too. Hearing this, Shinanji immediately thanked the director. Thank you, director. You've worked hard. On the side, the bored Ji Bainan made a video call to Ji Jun. Uncle, can you come pick me up? Ji Jun on the phone asked where Tian was. Ji Bainan lied, shamelessly. Tian is still playing with handsome guys. She won't help me with my homework. The slandered Tian immediately appeared behind Ji Bainan. Ji Bainan, are you talking bad about me? Ji Jun on the phone laughed. Nan, give the phone to your aunt. Tian took the phone. Finished already? Want me to pick you up? Ji Jun asked. Tian immediately refused. No need. You'll lose a lot of money for every minute you don't work. I'll bring him to find you. Ji Jun said, I'm willing to go bankrupt spending on you. Tian was very pleased with this, blushing as she said, whatever. Just then, Shinanji came over. Tian, want me to drive you back? Tian waved her hand saying no need. She'd take a taxi with Ji Bainan. Tian held Ji Bainan's hand and went to the entrance of the film city to wait for a taxi. Entertainment reporters staking out at the entrance noticed Tian and Ji Bainan. A group of people immediately rushed to Tian. Hello, Miss Zhou. We're reporters from Feiyu Entertainment. May we interview you? Tian was startled by the sudden situation, but instinctively covered Ji Bainan's face. Several reporters persisted. Zhou Jintian, why do you drive luxury cars but pretend to be poor online? Can you tell us your thoughts about your public image falling apart? Miss Zhou Jintian, why have many netizens revealed that you studied at Qingshan? Didn't you claim to graduate from Jin University? What's your relationship with this child? Are you already married? Just as Tian didn't know what to do, Shinanji drove over and shouted for her to get in the car. In the car, Tian worriedly pinched Ji Bainan's cheeks. Nan, were you scared? Ji Bainan was speechless at her action. I was scared, so as compensation, Tian needs to take me to the amusement park. Shinanji turned and scolded Xiaoyu. What were you doing on your phone? The internet is in chaos, and you didn't even know. Xiaoyu lowered her head apologetically. Sorry, Brother Anji. Sorry, Sister Tian. I'm really sorry. Tian defended her. Enough, why blame her? Besides, deceiving everyone from the start was wrong. Shinanji retorted indiscriminately. You're quite the peacemaker. When did you hit someone with a luxury car? How many more things are you hiding from me? Tian smiled guiltily. I'm so well-behaved. What else could I be hiding from you? Better be true. I'll take you home first to lay low. I can't even enter your compound, but at least I don't worry about security. Then Ji Bainan turned to Tiantian. Weren't you going to find Uncle? What uncle? Isn't this kid your nephew? Shenanji asked, turning around. Tiantian quickly deflected. He means my uncle. All right, just take care of yourself. After speaking, Shenanji made a call. Hello, is this the PR company? We need. Meanwhile, Xiao Yu, who had been quiet, secretly opened her phone. Back home, Ji Jun held Tiantian. If you feel wronged, you don't have to continue. There's no need to endure these online rumors. Tiantian strongly insisted she was fine. The people I care about understand me. That's enough. Ji Jun stood up. I'll go to the study to handle some things. Ji Bainan immediately said he'd go upstairs to do homework. Tiantian nodded and took out her phone, thinking she should start a live stream. She had to do something. Starting the live stream, Tiantian waved hello. Hi everyone, I'm Zhou Jintian. Today I want to clarify some issues. First, about my studying at Qingshan, there were special circumstances. I only stayed for a few days. You can find my name and photo in my actual school's graduation album. Please stop making malicious speculations. Regardless, I beg everyone to change their stereotypes about any school. What's important has never been a diploma, but the person themselves. Tiantian stood up and bowed to the camera. The livestream viewers' opinions of her began to change. Zhou Jintian's attitude doesn't seem as bad as what's said online. Yeah, her values are quite right. Won her over as a fan. Meanwhile, in the study, Ji Jun spoke on the phone. Then I'll trouble you with this matter. My girl is delicate. There's no reason to let outsiders bully her like this. The person on the phone replied, Mr. G, understood. I'll handle this matter properly for you. The reports are already being suppressed. After hanging up, Ji Jun silently decided the situation couldn't escalate further. If the old man found out, things would become thorny. Going downstairs, Ji Jun didn't notice Tiantian was live streaming and walked past behind her. The comments section immediately exploded. Tiantian quickly picked up her phone and said, in any case, I apologize for all those lies. But regarding acting, I am sincere. After speaking, she waved and immediately ended the live stream. Ji Jun, not knowing what happened, held Tiantian and pinched her face. Tiantian thought Ji Jun was going to kiss her and immediately closed her eyes shyly. At that moment, Ji Bainan's voice came from the stairs. Wow, Uncle and Annie are going to kiss. Coming to her senses, Tiantian immediately pointed at Ji Jun in embarrassment. What are you trying to do? Ji Jun reached out his hand, saying, I'm just removing something dirty from your face. Why did you close your eyes? Be good. I'll kiss you after Nanan leaves. Those words instantly made Tiantian blush. That night, lying in bed, Ji Bainan looked at his uncle. Uncle, you've become gentler since being with Tiantian. Ji Jun didn't respond, just handed Ji Bainan his pajamas to change into. Ji Bainan said, Uncle, I want you to help me put them on. Ji Jun immediately refused. No way. I only help your Annie dress. Go to sleep quickly. I'm going to accompany your Annie. Just as Ji Jun returned to the room, he found Ji Bainan calling Tiantian. Tiantian answered the phone, asked, Why are you calling so late? Unexpectedly, Ji Bainan said, Tianan is embarrassing. You're so old but still need uncle to help you dress. Tiantian looked at Ji Jun speechlessly. When did I ever ask your uncle to help me dress? Seeing Ji Bainan's continuous fussing, Tiantian comforted him. All right, don't cry. I'll tell you a bedtime story. First, cover yourself properly with the blanket, hands and feet all tucked in, okay? After Ji Bainan covered himself, he listened to Tiantian's story. Once there was a little child who slept with only his head exposed. Then a ghost chopped off his head. Tiantian's mischievous expression scared Ji Bainan speechless. Okay, story's over. Sleep well. After saying this, Tiantian hung up. Ji Jun teased from the side. You can only bully Nan like this. Just as she turned off her phone, Ji Jun suddenly held her chin. The man's presence was overwhelming. Zhou Jintian instinctively closed her eyes, feeling the warmth slowly approaching. More unexpectedly was Ji Bainan's voice from upstairs. Ji Bainan shouted loudly. Uncle and Annie are going to kiss. Zhou Jintian turned her neck away, stuttering as she questioned the man. What are you trying to do? Ji Jun lowered his head and removed something small from her face. he said with a smile. I'm just removing something dirty. Why did you close your eyes? Zhou Jintian blushed quickly and punched Ji Zheng's chest with her fist. Ji Zheng caught her hand and whispered in her ear, "Be good. I'll kiss you when Nan Nan isn't here." Zhou Jintian felt like she was about to explode from embarrassment. Shameless. Ji Bainan rubbed his sleepy eyes, yawning. Uncle, you've become gentler since being with Tintian. Ji Bainan rarely acted cute. Uncle, I want you to help me dress. Ji Zheng glanced at him, his voice rising. No way. I only help your Annie dress. Go to sleep quickly. I'm going to accompany your Annie. Looking at the woman sleeping like a log beside him, her phone had rung dozens of times without waking her. The man picked up the phone and glanced at it casually. Thinking the other party might have something urgent, he answered the call. Seeing the call finally connected, the man downstairs angrily started ranting. Hearing a man's voice saying she was still sleeping, he felt deceived and immediately hung up the phone in anger. Ji Zheng could only softly call Zhou Jintian's name, but she wouldn't even open her eyes, complaining. Why are you waking me up so early? How annoying. Ji Zheng said helplessly. Your manager is waiting downstairs. Only then did Zhou Jintian remember she had arranged to meet Shenanji today to attend a show. She immediately opened her eyes wide and woke up. She rushed to get ready, looking just like someone late for school. While tying her hair, she asked, How did you know Shenanji was waiting for me downstairs? Ji Zheng replied, He called you dozens of times. Zhou Jintian quickly put on her coat, said goodbye, and went downstairs. On the way, Shenanji asked unhappily, What's your relationship with that man who answered the phone? Zhou Jintian hesitated and played dumb. Well, it's a long story. Seeing Zhou Jintian's pleading look, shall you change the subject, Sister Tian? Have you looked at today's program schedule? Learning that Zhou Jintian hadn't read a single word, Shenanji was furious. Other female artists are all diligent and hardworking. Only you, Zhou Jintian, are so lazy. Others feel guilty eating even one extra bite. Only you, Zhou Jintian, need alcohol with every meal to feel satisfied. You really think having money means you can do whatever you want? Zhou Jintian couldn't bear it anymore, seeing Shun Anji's tongue wagging. After getting out of the car, Zhou Jintian and the other person quietly followed behind Shenanji. She was really afraid of his mouth now. In the makeup room, there was no one, so Xiaoyu went to find the makeup artist. Zhou Jintian felt her lips were dry, but found that her lipstick in her pocket was missing. Maybe she wore Ji Zheng's clothes by mistake this morning. Zhou Jintian remembered Ji Zheng also wore a black suit. She must have mixed them up. So Zhou Jintian called Ji Zheng, and sure enough, the lipstick was in his pocket. Ji Zheng wanted to send someone to deliver it to Zhou Jintian, but she said not to bother, just keep it there for now. Several female employees kept secretly glancing at Ji Zheng. When they saw the lipstick in his hand, they immediately started gossiping. Some thought CEO Ji was quite meticulous, while others said it was clearly for women. Two girls suddenly whispered, saying it was identical to Xiao Yi's lipstick. Xiao Yi was the CEO's favorite. No wonder she often brought food to CEO Ji. It seemed that Ji Zheng and Xiao Yi's relationship was already certain. Zhou Jintian finally warned, Don't secretly use my lipstick. Ji Zheng raised an eyebrow. Don't worry, I'm more interested in your lips. You're such a pervert. Zhou Jintian was speechless. The CEO of a listed company, just because of the content of a letter, schemed to force his nephew's ex-girlfriend into a contract marriage with himself, while the nephew sent his brother to spy in his uncle's house to monitor if there was anything unusual between his uncle and aunt's life. That day, Ji Bainan was video chatting with the elder. The elder curiously asked, Are you at the company? Ji Bainan said he was staying with uncle today because Tian went to work and had no time to play with him. Ji Zheng had been hiding his marriage from the elder, so the elder curiously asked who Tian was. Ji Bainan, speaking innocently and without filter, explained, Tian is little Andy, uncle's precious wife. The elder's face darkened, and he immediately ordered people nearby to investigate what Ji Zheng had been doing in the country recently. At that moment, the CEO's office door was pushed open. Xiaoyi walked in carrying a children's meal set. She smiled happily. You must be so Ji's little nephew. Then Ji Bainan gave all the under 18 students a lesson. Thank you, but don't eat food from strangers. Xiao Yi praised him while emphasizing that she was very close with his uncle, her ulterior motives becoming obvious. Ji Bainan remained skeptical. You're still not as close as Tian Tian. Meanwhile, at the TV station, Zhou Jintian was changing clothes in the fitting room while Xiao Yu read the program schedule from her phone. What? I have to cook. Zhou Jintian suddenly pulled open the curtain, looking surprised. She was completely hopeless in the kitchen. Xiao Yu hesitated, then tentatively asked, Sister Tiantian, have you never watched this variety show before? It's too late for last-minute cramming now, Xiao Yu warned. Host Teacher Gung is known for being sharp, and there's even a punishment segment after the cooking competition. In the studio, the other three were already seated. Zhou Jintian walked onto the stage smiling, exchanging greetings with Shu-like. Yu Anna kept checking her makeup in a small mirror while sarcastically remarking, some people are so lucky. The second female lead schedule was too busy, and all the good things fall in her lap. As host Teacher Gung announced the start of the show, the audience burst into enthusiastic applause. Teacher Gung first interviewed Yu Anna, who was closest to him. Rumor said Yu Anna would have ambiguous relationships with every male lead in her dramas. Yu Anna explained that she'd just like to become sworn siblings with every male actor. Teacher Gung seized the moment and interviewed Song Daishu. Which beauty do you like most in the crew? Everyone thought he would say Yu Anna, but Song Daishu casually replied, I get along very well with Teacher Zhou. Zhou Jintian smiled gracefully. Thank you for your appreciation, Teacher Song. Teacher Gung suddenly noticed two audience members in the front row whispering. He walked over and handed the microphone to one of them. Friend, what were you just saying? The short-haired girl shyly covered her mouth. I shipped Zhou Song's CP. Yu Anna maintained good expression management on camera. Even though she was furious inside, she was supposed to be the lead after all. Zhou Jintian, you're really something, but she still maintained her gentle appearance. Teacher Gung changed the topic, shifting focus to Zhou Jintian. Tian, how does it feel to be appreciated by the male lead in real life? Zhou Jintian answered with a smile. I hope there will be more male leads, so my beauty won't go to waste. Hearing Zhou Jintian's sincere and self-confident answer, the whole venue burst into laughter. In his over 10 years in the industry, Teacher Gung hadn't met many female artists like Zhou Jintian, a married woman debuting with a single pure image. Yet online rumors said she lived in a mansion and even hit someone with a luxury car. Just this morning, her manager Shun Anji picked her up for the show. Soon the program entered the cooking segment. The three of them drew lots for their assigned dishes. However, Zhou Jintian, being a kitchen disaster, looked troubled when she saw the words souffle copyright, while Yu Anna was expertly kneading dough with complete confidence. Zhou Jintian couldn't even manage to separate egg whites from yolks. Teacher Wang came over to specifically ask Tian if she had anything to share with everyone. Zhou Jintian frankly said, I feel like I'm already in the punishment segment. Later, Song Daishu and Yu Anna were finishing up their dishes, chatting while waiting for them to be done. Seeing Zhou Jintian in a fluster, Song Daishu came forward to help. But looking at Zhou Jintian's messy workspace, even a miracle worker couldn't save it. The judges, looking at the dish that lacked appearance, aroma, and taste, all declared it the worst dish since the show began. Zhou Jintian rightfully entered the punishment segment. Today's punishment was to call the first person in their phone call history. The first person in Zhou Jintian's call history was naturally Ji Zheng. Teacher Gung friendly reminded her not to tell the other person they were recording a show. Watching the call being made, Zhou Jintian prayed, Uncle, please be clever about this. As the call connected, Zhou Jintian exchanged pleasantries before getting to the point, asking, So, who am I to you? The man on the other end replied without hesitation, My wife. Zhou Jintian nervously hung up quickly, afraid Ji Zheng might say something more inappropriate. Zhou Jintian hurriedly explained, This person is just my ordinary friend. But everyone at the scene didn't believe Zhou Jintian's explanation at all. Zhou Jintian could only awkwardly continue explaining. He knows I'm on the show and is deliberately creating buzz. Backstage, Shenanji seriously asked, Who was that man who answered the phone this morning? Zhou Jintian, seeing no way to hide it anymore, had to honestly tell him it was Ji Zheng. Shenanji immediately suspected she was Ji Zheng's lover. To confirm his thoughts, he continued asking about their relationship. We're legally married, Zhou Jintian answered truthfully. Then when I asked if you were dating before, how did you answer me? I really wasn't dating anyone, I just happened to be married. Seeing he couldn't change anything and might as well make the best of it, Shinonji tried to think positively. We just received a variety show that requires interning at a big company for a while. You should go to your husband's company and experience being a CEO's secretary. Finally, Shinonji reminded her not to reveal her married status and to maintain distance from Ji Zheng in private. Zhou Jintian agreed on the surface, but inside she was thinking about rushing to Ji Zheng to let him taste her cooking. At this time, Xiaoyu saw a clarification video online from the electric bike owner from the previous accident. He not only revealed the truth, but also thanked Zhou Jintian for not making him pay the high repair costs, which allowed him to see his hospitalized mother one last time. But this move wasn't orchestrated by either of them. Shinonji watched the video, wondering who was secretly helping Zhou Jintian. To know how much a man loves a woman, besides looking at his eyes, you can also look at the photos in his album. Though they agreed to take photos of both people together, the photos were all of the person he wanted to see in his eyes. Then this man looked at the photos he just took, feeling quite satisfied with his work. Because Ji Bainan was returning home tomorrow, he begged Ji Zheng to take him to the amusement park. So the two decided to use the afternoon to fulfill Ji Bainan's small wish. Soon, a shelf of dolls attracted a group of children. All they needed to do was take a family photo of 3, and they could pick any doll from the shelf. So Ji Bainan shouted that he wanted that piggy doll. Zhou Jintian said there's no need for that trouble. Just let your uncle buy it. Ji Bainan showed a look of disapproval. Uncle and Annie, aren't you wasteful? We could get it just by taking a photo. Ji Zheng's eyes held laughter as he agreed about being wasteful. And so, after being charged with the crime of wastefulness, Zhou Jintian was dragged by the little one to take photos. Both males in the photo looked very happy. The light festival was about to begin. Zhou Jintian leaned against the orange railing waiting for the two. Ji Zheng took the little one to buy drinks, while he rested alone here because he couldn't walk anymore. Seeing him finally alone, the man in black had a satisfied smile on his face. He walked up to Zhou Jintian, pretending to be surprised. "Excuse me, are you Zhou Jintian?" Zhou Jintian was startled by this sudden approach, never thinking he'd be recognized one day. "Hello, I'm a big fan. Could you sign an autograph for me?" Just as Zhou Jintian was worried about not having paper and pen, the other person pulled them out from his bag. He swiftly signed his name. After saying thanks, the man in black took out a bottle of mineral water from his bag. "You look thirsty. Here's some water for you." Zhou Jintian refused, but the man in black forced it into his hands. Saying, "We'll meet again," he turned and ran away. Zhou Jintian naturally wouldn't consume anything from strangers, even an unopened bottle of water. He threw it in the trash can. By then, the two had returned, and the man in black had disappeared. Zhou Jintian felt something strange, but didn't think more of it. The quiet night was suddenly split by a flash of light. Countless fireworks bloomed in the night sky, flowing with color. Ji Bainan's eyes were full of light as he excitedly shouted, "Fireworks! Fireworks!" The river surface reflected countless golden lights, flickering. Zhou Jintian looked up, the evening breeze gently brushing his long hair. Looking at Ji Zheng's profile beside him, his heart thundered. The man's handsome face was bathed in golden light, making the stars dim in comparison at this moment when he looked at him. While everyone was rejoicing at the brilliant fireworks, only Zhou Jintian knew how violently his heart was beating. The man in black hiding in the shadows was somewhat angry. He consoled himself, "It's okay. I've done so much for you. Sooner or later, you'll be mine, Xinghe." The bay's lights were bright, and the neighborhood environment was excellent. Zhou Jintian and Ji Bainan walked in front, playfully bantering, while Ji Zheng followed behind, unable to join the conversation. As they passed a bench, suddenly someone called out softly, "Tian." Zhou Jintian immediately turned to see who was calling him. When he saw that person, he instantly got goosebumps. The woman had only eaten a mushroom at the dinner table, but because the man had secretly glanced at her, she immediately ran to the bathroom to vomit. The man thought she was pregnant, so he followed her. But the woman said her child was already old enough to buy soy sauce. To verify Zhou Jintian's words, Zhou Yanli waited outside his building that night. Seeing there was indeed a little boy beside him, he couldn't help but look him up and down. There were some adult matters to discuss, so Zhou Jintian sent the child away. Seeing the child leave, Zhou Yanli immediately asked whose child he was. But Zhou Jintian didn't want to chat with this brother. "Please disappear from my sight right now." Zhou Yanli grabbed Zhou Jintian's hand. "Do you really plan to hate me for life?" Zhou Jintian immediately yanked his hand away forcefully. He replied with disgust, "Not just me. My descendants will hate you for generations." Ji Zheng saw from afar that something was wrong between the siblings. Though he didn't know what had happened before, he would definitely stand on Zhou Jintian's side. So he bent down to whisper an idea to his little nephew. Ji Bainan walked over with a pitiful look and asked in a childish voice, "Mommy, when are we going home?" "Daddy, and I want to sleep." Hearing the boy's words, Zhou Yanli couldn't believe that the girl of his dreams had already become someone's wife and mother. He immediately asked in shock, "Is this child really yours? Are you blind or deaf?" After Zhou Jintian said this, he led Ji Bainan away, leaving Zhou Yanli in confusion. The next day, Ji Baiyan came early as promised to pick up his brother. However, Ji Bainan still wanted to say goodbye to Zhou Jintian. Ji Zheng casually said, "See you next time. Don't wait. Your aunt won't wake up before noon." On the way back, Ji Bainan reported his observations from this period to his brother. Finally, he concluded, "They're true love. Neither of us has a chance." Ji Baiyan still couldn't believe they could develop real feelings in such a short time. Considering Ji Zheng's combat power was 100%, Ji Bainan could only express one-sidedly that his dream of having Zhou Jintian as his sister-in-law was shattered. He had thought that if Tian Tian became his sister-in-law, when he grew up, he could ask his brother to give her to him. "I think I'm experiencing heartbreak in advance." In the afternoon, Shenanji visited Ji Zheng at Qingabei, mainly about arranging artists' internships at Ye's. With Zhou Jintian as the stepping stone, things went smoothly. This powerful figure wasn't as cold-hearted as rumored. At this time, Zhou Jintian, who had just woken up, came out looking fresh and greeted Shun Anji warmly. Ji Zheng looked at him, somewhat displeased. "Why didn't you change clothes before coming down?" With an outsider present, Zhou Jintian also felt his attire was inappropriate. So he hurriedly turned back. "You guys keep talking. Brother Shun, please stay for lunch today. I'll cook personally." Both men thought of Zhou Jintian's terrible cooking. That single sentence made both men's faces darken, but neither could refuse him.